You all, having come back from your wonderful adventure in Neverwinter, having saved the wonderful business of Papa Pietro at Papa Pietro's Popsicle Palace, you return to the Adventurers Guild, tired, sticky, more than a little sticky.
Very sticky.
Very sticky.
Especially in my case.
And in my case, I would still tend to have the huge zit on my neck. Yeah, that's more detail.
And you're able to find, when you come in, essentially looking like the Ghostbusters in the mid-scene, just covered in ooze and disgusting. Surely one of you has a cigarette. But as you do come in, the individual, the very tall, sort of guild, sort of disc jockey in a sense, and that he delivers the paperwork, does the admin. Anyway, when you come in, the individual that you had a bit of a disagreement with merely hours before says, "Oh, there you are! Been wondering when you guys would get back. We need you to go on a special mission right away." Well, okay. Bathe first, then mission.
And what's the next mission? What would the next mission be?
Well,
I
mean,
you got an agent.
Like dripping with ice cream at this point.
Yes.
Really
got
just
an
making a
agent
mess
missing.
all over the lobby as well.
We've got another contractor. He's someplace missing. We sent him out. There's some sort of a weather problem out east. He's a druid. He went out. We haven't heard back from him. We want you to find him. You can take care of the problem while you're out there, whatever, but we want you to find our man.
Find
Think
a
you can
druid.
handle that?
Gotcha. I suppose we could handle that, yeah. Question is, though, how much are we getting paid for this one?
His eyes narrow a little bit. How much do you want?
anything that are not coupons.
No more coupons.
Checkmate.
Why is it always so vague?
He says that you would have the thanks of the guild, and we would pay you the going rate of a retainer. So
What's the
essentially,
going rate?
Yeah, what is this going on?
It's essentially somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1 a day, which is not very much in terms of treasure. But as per sort of adventuring policy here, you would normally, so when you get certain treasures and rewards, you of course you have to pay taxes, and some of it goes to the guild, but then you get to keep the rest of the spoils. And generally speaking, equipment, unless it's if you find like artwork or gems and things like that, those are inherently valuable, and so there are applied taxes, and you split those. Usually you would turn those into the guild and they would fence them, unless you wanted to keep them for sentimental purposes, and then you would get paid the gold in response. But generally, if you find like a sword or something, if it's equipment, then you can just keep that, unless it's of a unique or legendary sort of a feel to it, in which case that's special. But generally, okay, the point is, they're paying you very little, but you can probably bargain to, since it's for the guild, to cut the guild's cut out of whatever you find. I'm just saying, from your point of view, you might think, oh, well, that's sort of the standard going rate for, like, that's what you would pay a pretty good bodyguard, but not necessarily an adventurer. You know, it's not a great amount of pay. Because generally, with adventurers, that's like it's an okay salary. If you do that every day, then you can have a comfortable living. But if you just do this one job, it might be another week before you have another job. So usually you need like a lot more, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's not good pay, but it's maybe not bad.
I would say that could we try to persuade them to cover the cost of any expenses?
Would you like to roll a persuasion or something along those lines? Try to
why
negotiate
not?
with them a little bit?
Why not?
Go for it.
I rolled a 9.
He's looking at you. Bring receipts. Only authorized expenses for travel. Nothing involved with living.
So that doesn't include the couple of bottles of wine I need on the journey, does it? That doesn't cover that, I'm guessing.
If you need them anyway, why should we be paying you for them?
No, so I was
Because
just
you
thinking
love
more
me.
You have
case we
seriously
need to rest.
misjudged this relationship.
That's a shame then. Okay, I see how it is. Guy that whatever your name is, it'll come to me in a minute.
Edgar!
Edgar, there, you see, I remembered, it was Edgar. See, we've been pals for a long time, haven't we? We get along.
Edgar Blevins. You don't even know my name.
Yes, I did. It's Edgar Blevins. You're related to that ninja guy?
Tilts his head a little bit. He's like 6'9", by the way. He's just looking down at you guys like... Are you going to do the job or what?
Can the expenses cover one bottle of wine? One bottle.
Your retainer fee will cover the wine.
I don't know what that means. Done deal. Wine's on the menu, boys.
that shitty
salary.
gold payment will cover
Yeah,
it.
it's the salary,
No, Finney's has been standing in the lobby just flicking like ice cream off, just not listening to the retainer stuff. So he's just like, yeah, I don't know what that means, but sure.
They're trying to get sleep costs and stuff like that covered, but no, you wanted fucking wine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's essentially saying your travel expenses. So he'll pay for, like a cab fare. He'll pay for a hotel. He probably won't pay for a good hotel, and he's certainly not going to pay for room service. But basically, he'll pay for as long as you bring back receipts, they'll cover the expenses of actually getting there. Nothing involved in keeping you alive. So, if you're eating food along the way, his argument, seemingly being, if you would have eaten food anyway, why should we pay for it?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So, and again, he's giving you 1 gold a day, which is essentially, if you were to compare it, like your typical unskilled labor would be like 1 silver a day, but like a really good skilled person would be like 2 gold a day. For an adventurer, again, you probably wouldn't take this job otherwise, because for 1 gold a day, having to travel someplace, you don't even know where it is yet. It has not a lot of money. But it's for the guild. You can maybe get favor. You might find treasure. You don't know.
Yeah, I like treasure. Do you like treasure?
I mean, considering that the only other job they've given you lately was, at a ice cream parlor, yeah, it would be good if you got some rep around here, and scratching their back can help you long term. This is, in many ways, this is not a money quest. This is a status quest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah,
Get that status
Alright.
back.
we've only had
Understood? Cool. Any other questions that you may have for him? He's not asking you that. He's just staring at you.
He loves staring, doesn't he?
He's the starer. Yeah.
I'll walk up. Try and reach up and just put my hands on the desk, because I'm guessing this desk is pretty high, so I probably can't put all my arms on it and all that. I'll just reach up as high as I can, pretending to put my arms on the desk and be like, So where are we going exactly? Where is this?
He shuffles through a couple of papers and comes up with a looks like a four-folded note written in a not very pleasant script.
Doctor's writing.
In a sense, yeah. And he says, directions say the Rhombus Valley.
Would Finney have heard of that before?
Well,
You know
maybe
roughly?
make a history check
History.
or any sort of knowledge check, some
Okay.
sort of intelligence check.
There is a history check.
There are, I will add, extensive maps available to the guild. So
I'm just
whether
trying to
you-
like
if you
remember
don't
it off.
know it,
I'm trying to remember
Yeah,
it just
if-
off the top of my head. So yeah,
I
I'll roll.
hear you, but if you don't know it, you will almost certainly be able to find out.
Yeah, I'll roll a history check. See if I know where it is.
Is the area perchance a diamond shape?
Oddly enough, not really.
That is a 19
well,
on
because
history.
you don't know. I should add, you don't know.
That is a 19 on history. So
That's pretty good.
Jeez.
Anybody else?
You know what? I'll make a history check as well. I got 13.
13?
Yep.
Okay. It doesn't sound familiar. I don't know. But with a 19, you think you've heard of this. They have a large sort of festival, a harvest festival every year. It's quite large. It's a bit of a float, or rather a bit of a parade and a fair, and it's quite fantastic. And more importantly, it's been a tradition for so long, and that's why it's especially known. While it's not very large, they've been doing the same exact sort of things, the same rituals to fend off the same ancient evils for hundreds of years at least. Very traditional, and that's one of the things that you definitely, with the 19, you've heard of that. You've heard of the Rhombus Valley. You especially can remember it because it's an odd name for a valley, for anywhere. Rhombus.
yeah, it's an interesting one, that's for sure.
Yeah, and again, it's not even in a rhombus shape. You have no idea how it got that name. But anyway,
Would I know?
You know that.
Well, I know
you know
roughly how far away it is from where we are.
I was just about to say that.
Oh,
From your travels that it is approximately, depending on how fast you travels, maybe 3 or 4 days east.
Okay.
And it's sort of like east to southeast.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And it's well far away from Neverwinter. They have the usual sort of thing. So, any further questions that you guys want to inquire here?
I reckon I'm pretty good.
I think I'm alright.
Nobody's curious about why the druid went, or how long the druid's been gone, or any questions about the druid?
Fair point.
I'm playing kid gloves here. I took advantage of you last time. I'm trying to encourage you to be thorough this time.
I mean, my understanding is that we're going regardless. I mean, the only thing we could probably gain is maybe some sort of description. We could try to get a description, and that's about it. It's about the only thing that's going to benefit us.
Possibly. So, any questions? Or you just want to ask for a description?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
Try and get a description now.
He says, Yusuf's about 5'10" or so. Dark hair, often betwigged. You know,
And anything else?
what do you
Like
want to know?
so like clothes he was wearing, sort of like, you know, how he behaves, how he is. So he's
may
happy.
have changed his clothes. He's a bit of a druid. I don't know much else about him. He seems usually dependable. We
A
felt
name?
comfortable sending him out alone. Yusuf Garza.
Yeah. Yusuf, what's that?
Garza.
Yusuf Garza.
Gaza. I probably butchered the spelling of that, but...
That's
I
fine.
would spell you. You.
A lot of people are flat out illiterate. It's actually Yusuf as in Y-O-U-S-U-F.
Ah, gotcha.
Yusuf. That's fine.
Did he have any unique things on him, or... like, a unique weapon, or a staff, or something like that?
He shakes his head. Not that I remember.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm curious then. How long has he been gone for? And when did he leave?
He left a week ago.
Left a week ago. And haven't heard from him since? No sending messages or anything like that? No
He
word
shakes
on?
his head. Says he's usually very dependable. He's one of our best druids.
Hmm.
That's why we were surprised. We thought this was going to be simple, and then we didn't hear from him. We are quite worried. But we're not so worried. We just want you to go see if he's okay. If he's not, if there's trouble, come back for backup.
Alright, come back for backup. Gotcha.
Yeah. You can get the very clear sense, no insight roll needed, that you're not the backup. You're the canary. You guys are... It's not like, hey, we sent one of our most powerful druids and he went missing. Oh, let's send in the A-team.
Now, we're clearly the A-team, and backup's just there to help in case. They're the cannon fodder later.
Yeah,
We're the best ones here.
They're not wasting the time of the A-team on this one. They just want to be seeing if it's even worth calling out the A-team. But, I mean, hey, job's a job, you know? You don't... That's how you get there. That's how you get to Carnegie Hall.
I'm gonna look up Edgar and be like, Edbert, we're clearly the ones going there because we're the best, aren't we? You're sending us because, you know, we're the best, we've gotta go rescue damsel in distress, yeah? Yeah, Edbert? Edbert?
You're the best.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I knew we could rely on Edbert here.
Edgar.
Edbert, gotcha.
Okay.
Edward,
He's in character.
Edward, is there somewhere I can wash my clothes and wash up around here at all? Don't suppose.
Edgar, and you can clean in the barracks.
Alright, gotcha. Thank you, Edward. Thank you.
You all, as members of the guild, you can of course get homes, you know, you can get rooms elsewhere or buy a home elsewhere, but as members of the guild, you have essentially free stay to a common barracks where you can wash up, you can sleep, you can, they even have rudimentary tools, you can mend basic equipment. There's a lot of things that you can do there.
That's pretty cool.
There's even a sort of a built-in sort of restaurant, diner, sort of full service. They're open 24/7. They don't have a lot of great food, but it's cheap, and they got it. And you're able to get provisions there, and you know, get meals and etc. And it's members only adventurers. So, but you can of course go elsewhere if you like, and you'll definitely get better quality, but rarely a better price.
Yeah, well, you know, with the information we've been given, I reckon, yeah, we got as much as we're gonna get, really. Any other details are not that useful, I suppose. So I'm gonna head off towards the barracks and,
He says, "You guys can take this, I guess." And he hands you the poorly written letter.
Cool. Someone else can grab that. I've already started walking off.
All right. As you walk away, you take your hands off the desk, and there's just like that sticky sound as they just unpeel from the wood, and he just stares at the outline of your hands that is just going to be forever sticky unless he cleans it with something right away.
Hey, Edward, we've got a cleaner around here. Yeah, you can clean up that and the trail leading from. Oh god, there's a lot, isn't there?
Get out. He's just pointing towards the barracks.
You got that? Okay, cool. As I scamper off quickly.
Alright. Yeah, so who has the letter?
Edgar's probably gonna smack a bitch in a minute.
Yeah, I'll pick up the letter.
Okay.
Just to clarify, what was written on the letter again?
The letter says, and I'll actually, let's see, useful. Do we have anything? I don't want to put it in general to get lost.
I was gonna say you could just pop it into my inventory because that's like where I would assume it would go.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I'll just go ahead and write roughly what you can read off of it. But anyway, so you guys go do your thing while I type this out. What would you like to do? Clean up and things like that?
How much of this ice cream can I try and like get out of my clothes? Is there a roll I can make to see just how well I can clean it, or?
Are you just going to be using water or a little bit of the very especially? Well, okay. Some days the soap is too fatty. The other days the soap has too much lye, and so it goes between being greasy and having a slight chemical burn kind of feel to it. The soap is never quite right, but you can attempt it with the soap if you like. Do any of you guys have prestidigitation by chance?
No, I don't.
Prestidigitation, that's
I wish I did, because I know what it does.
Yeah, it's...
That'd be nice.
It's an especially magical thing, but it will help you clean clothes. But if not, then yeah, you can make a... Yes, it is. You can make a roll, but if you want, you might even be able to find a wizard around that can clean it up for, a couple of coins.
I'll see how well I can do first, and then...
Sure.
If need be, I'll find a wizardy boy.
What skills do you think you could bring to bear on this that might aid you in your role?
Well, sleight of hand work at all, being, trying to get specific spots out of this and, trying to be delicate with it and all that. Just to not ruin the clothes anymore.
You know what? I'll allow it. Sure.
Awesome. That is not good. That's a 10. Even with a +6. Holy fuck.
Ew.
That's not good. That's a 10.
Okay. Yeah, you're not getting a lot out of this. As you're kind of just moving it around, you're seeing that it is becoming more uniform, but it's mostly just becoming, instead of being spots of sticky damage, now it's just thoroughly infused sticky damaged fabric. Very uniform. Very uniform. The color is more even, for sure, but the entire thing is it's just getting worse as you do it.
Well, these clothes are ruined.
Definitely.
That's what you get for swimming in ice cream.
I did a snow angel in the ice cream.
Well, I mean, I believe everyone's shoes were basically doomed by the ice cream.
I think all of our shoes were messed, but because he's a short ass, it pretty much wasted him.
It just went all over me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you looked at a wall, there was probably an outline of me on the wall as well.
Alright, so
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna be spending my time, trying to get these out and, failing horribly.
It's really bad. The good thing is though, the smell seems to be kind of getting away, so that's a plus.
That's always a plus.
Yeah, it's neutralizing a lot of the smell. That helps. Are the rest of you cleaning in a similar fashion? You're certainly not nearly as bad. But of course, some of it is just like on you. It's in your pores. Like it's just seeped in.
Well, we can still try to go find a wizard to do the present.
Do we want to waste currencies yet? I mean, who cares if we've got some scraggly clothes? Do you know what I mean? We could probably, when we get further into the journey, depending on what we find, if we find, items and things to sell, we might be able to buy new clothes. You don't know. So I think I'm just gonna do the same. I'm gonna try and give my shoes and the bottom of my robe a scrub and have a bath, and that'll be it for me.
Out of curiosity, going around the barracks, is there any other sets of clothes from any other adventurers hanging up that would, somewhat be my size?
You want to steal from adventurers inside the Adventurers Guild?
I'll give them my clothes. It's a fair trade. I mean, they're nice clothes. They're just ruined, but they're nice clothes.
Okay.
Of course,
high or low?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm just asking you to pick high or low.
Okay. Let's go high.
You do, in fact, see that there are clothing. There's clothing here, seemingly from a halfling.
It's convenient.
Wait, are you a halfling or a gnome?
Halfling.
Okay, it's from a gnome. The other one.
They're smaller, aren't they?
Close. Close, but I apologize. I thought you were a gnome. But yeah, they're from a gnome. Close, but possibly doable.
Are they smaller than a halfling? I think gnomes are smaller, aren't they?
I think they're actually a little bigger.
Oh, are they? I thought gnomes
well,
were
anyway,
small.
they're... Again, maybe I'm getting confused. Okay, fine. They're small clothes that you think might work. You don't know who they're from.
Is anyone around at the time?
Well,
As,
it's the
quick
sort
check?
of common barracks. There's a couple of people, not only your folk, but there are several others that are. Some of them are trying to rest. Others are reading. Some are attempting to mend leather armor.
There's no way I'm getting away with that. I'll eye it up, keep it in memory, but I won't do anything with it for now.
Okay.
Keep that in memory, though.
Oh, I
Alright.
mean, you two might want us to keep smelling like, very bad ice cream or, sugar sweet. So, I would like to go try to find a mage, just to remove the smell and the stickiness from the clothes. That way. Is that still possible? And since this would be technically given to a mage, is it possible to go for a short rest or possibly a long rest?
Are you asking? I'm sorry. Are you asking if you can take a short rest or a long rest?
Yeah, if it is possible to take a long rest.
Yeah, of course. You guys can take as many rests as you like. You could take a month off if you want. No big.
Yeah, Druid will be alright.
Do whatever you
fine.
Kill
want.
the story.
Well,
It would certainly have an effect. But we would enter into a whole new thing where, it's like, okay, how much are you paying for your food? How much money you got left? What are you going to do if you start to starve to death?
Okay, there's a fair point. Yeah, okay. And, I will not go for... well, I mean, yeah, I would like to, go find a wizard and remove this sweet smell from clothes. Yeah. Make it back to normal.
Okay. Yeah, you can, if you're just trying to find a wizard that can just poof it, no problem. One of the fellows reading, you can see, is clearly reading a magical text. He is almost certainly a wizard. Or someone that wants to be. he might have a cantrip that can do this.
Alrighty. I approached the I approached the man, and I asked if he is willing to clean up a few clothes for a few coins.
He looks you over and he shrugs and says, "Sure, copper each."
A copper each. Oh, wow. Thank you.
He says, "I'm a lot cheaper than a lot of the others, but you're also not that messy. Plus, I'm already here."
That's fair enough. Alrighty. So we'd probably give him what, about 3 copper, 2 copper?
Well, he's looking at you two. He doesn't necessarily see the incredibly messy halfling. But
would I overhear them talking about that, or am I like completely elsewhere at this point?
It's your choice, you know? It's sort of a large common room with bunk beds and hammocks in various places and various sizes and shapes. And there are, like I said, there's sort of simple baths that you can make do with. There are separate actual baths, but they're in other rooms for privacy. But here, you know, you can just really be scrubbing this thing hard, just in a wash basin and in the common room, so you can be aware of it. Sure.
Yeah, I'll probably come over as well then. You know, each step, you know, shoe comes off the floor. It's just a massive squelch with like every single step on my way over there.
He looks you up and down, and it's gotten even worse because where before everything was blending in and also getting sticky, but it's also still wet. It's so bad. He actually, in fact, he waves his hand a little bit, and the smell of peaches fills the air. He's like, "Oh, much better."
I was kind of getting used to the smell, to be honest.
2 copper for you. It's a lot of surface area.
But I'm smaller. I'm smaller.
Yes, but you have more to clean than they do combined.
Fine, 2 copper.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, into his outstretched hand, do 4 copper arrive?
Apiro, are you paying for all, or are we paying for our own?
So one thing you guys might want to consider is what you can do in terms of splitting treasures and things like that. What some find useful is to have essentially a point or elect, or you know, by some manner have a treasurer, and essentially have your own individual treasure piles, but also have a collective treasure pile that's useful, because sometimes you'll come across people that just need bride. Who's going to pay the bride? You can have it come out of a sort of group treasury, and then you can even have people be reimbursed. You know, there's basically, you can consider that where who's going to be paying for this. This is kind of an expense, you know, because I will add again, there are taxes, and if you can say, well, we didn't want these cleaned for personal reasons, it was a business expense, you could potentially write stuff like this kind of off. It's just important to think about that, and whether or not you want to keep separate treasuries where you each keep track of your own treasure, or if you want to have a group fund that you pay each other from, essentially creating like an adventuring corporation.
The idea of the group fund, however, Finny is not to hold on to it.
Why ever not?
Because you will be down the pub with the hookers and the boozes.
Ah, you know me too well. I promise I won't spend all of it.
Oh, but you was going to definitely sell.
Just a good 90%.
Yeah.
I'm all good for someone else holding on to it.
Well, since I'm one of the more bulky characters, it makes sense for me to hold on to the personal, or hold on to the onto the treasure pile, or for for the party.
All right. Yeah. So, just and of course that's one of those fun things too. Is if you're the one that's trusted to run on and keep track of all of that stuff, it's up to you players to check to see whether he's embezzling or doing this correctly. It's not on me at all. So, but yeah, if 4 copper find their way into this wizard's hand, then he will clean you all to a perfect, pristine, lemony fresh state.
Yeah. Well, actually, the group fund, we want to try and put some gold into that now?
That's
So
literally what
the
I was
group
just-
fund actually has something in it.
Alrighty. Well, if I start off with about 10 gold, are we also still taking the parlor gold? That was what, 1 gold and 1 silver, copper.
It's a group fund thing. If you want to run that random
Yeah.
here.
Nice.
So we'll just clarify of where we are sitting of gold at the moment.
Yeah, what he's asking is obviously at the end of Papa Pietro's bloody palace place, you got paid like 1 gold, 1 copper, and some coupons or something stupid like that.
It's all up 4 gold, 4 silver, I think. 1 gold,
Yep.
1 silver each.
1 gold, 1 silver each.
So yeah,
So
4 gold,
So-
4 silver.
yeah.
Stick that straight into the group fund.
Okay, so-
Ironically, Papa Pietro paid you more than the Adventurers Guild is.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you did get threatened by Finny and Vosmic, and like, yeah.
Yeah, he was gonna lowball the hell out of us otherwise.
Alrighty,
Mhm.
and we'll just clarify 4 gold and 4 copper, was it? Or
Silver.
4 silver. Yeah, 4 gold, 4 silver.
Right, so bung that in there, and then use that to pay this man the 4 copper. Just to clarify, how
Should
much is
go-
it? Gold, silver.
10 copper,
copper's
1
gold.
silver, 10 silver is 1 gold. 10
okay,
gold is 1 platinum, I think. It's still 10.
So it's
Yeah.
Correct.
gonna be 4 gold, 3 silver, and 6 copper, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Alright.
Well, not necessarily. You have 4 gold coins and 4 silver coins.
So we would make that
Does
3
he have...
silver coins and 6.
Right, so now we need to find a way
Not
to break that down.
necessarily.
Yeah, does he have
Because
change?
if you hand him a silver, he's not going to give you change.
Oh no.
So we need to find some sort of bank or something to.
Would the man at the entrance be willing to change some silver for copper?
If the right person asks him in the right way, then he might. But I will add too
So
that
not
there
me.
is also there is also a sort of cantina here. Surely they have a till. They might be able to more easily do a quick change. There are also money changers. So if you, for instance, are out in the world and you come across a young dragon's hoard of 35,000 copper, obviously that's not economical. That's not reasonable to keep around. But if you do manage to cart all of that back, you can take it to a money changer that'll turn it into gold or platinum for a modest fee.
Okay, by looking around, are there any money changers in the vicinity that we're in?
There are, in fact, Adventurers Guild authorized money changers, and they'll also handle the appraisal of certain goods and things like that. But for this to turn, for 1 silver into 10 copper, the cantina would probably be your quickest bet. You just go in there, say, "Hey, can you break this for us?" And yeah, they'll almost certainly have 10 copper.
Off you go, Piero.
Going to the bank for this is a waste of time.
Alrighty.
But of course, if you go in and you say, "Hey, I've got 18 gold. I want to change it into this denomination and that denomination," then that's moneylender. But this, hey, can you break a silver? That's not a big deal.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, since I am the party treasurer and not the most stinkiest or in the worst case, I will carry 1 silver over to the canteen.
Okay. You run off to the canteen, and as you come in, it's like full Moss Eisley kind of, different creatures and various things. People, there's not one but 2 arm wrestling competitions. You're not even sure where the music is coming from. Some sort of enchanted instrument from some bard, obviously, or something. But you're able to go up to the sort of proprietor of this small little establishment and ask for change, and they will very quickly and easily give you your 10 copper back.
Alrighty. And now that has been converted, I will walk back to the wizard and
And you all, once he received his 4 copper, after a little bit of magical incantations and splishes and splashes and waves of his hand, within 30 seconds, you are both, or rather all 3 of you, are quite clean thoroughly.
Yay.
Yay, my clothes are fine again.
Now, do we want to pretend the 4th is here? In which case, you would have to offer 1 more copper to clean your 4th member.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
yep, that is fair enough.
There.
Should
So
clean up
one more copy, copper is paid, and all 4 of your members, including the unusually mute one, are clean. So there you are.
This is like floating in the air. It's like, what the fuck? Alright. So now that we have been cleaned up and we are...
That's a much nicer way of doing it.
Hmm?
The note that Alucard has, which, Alucard, would you want to maybe read that to the team now that you have a moment to actually look at it?
Yeah, sure. So I guess I'll pull the note out and say to the other guys, right, listen up, fools. To the Adventurers Guild of Neverwinter, we request your aid. Winter has not ended here, and our growing season and livelihood is at risk. We can only offer 35 gold pieces, but we have trade goods to offer and can make payments based on the season. We are true to our word, and we are in dire need. Mayor Perry Rodriguez, Rhombus Valley.
Okay.
Now, is there anything else we need to stock up on before we make the 4-day trip?
I presume rations and stuff like that.
Yeah, do you have rations? Most of you will be starting with them if you have the normal starting equipment.
I've
You
got a
will
day of
roast-
rations.
Yeah, a day.
Yes, I'm a day of rations.
1 day?
Yeah, only one.
Yeah, that's what it starts with.
Which starting equipment did you guys pick? Normally they come with 10 days of rations.
Adventuring gear. I believe that's which part I came with.
Yeah, depending on which pack you have, because the adventuring gear describes basically every item in the game, with the exception of useful things. So there's the Burglar's pack, the Diplomat's pack, the Dungeoneer's pack, the Entertainer's pack, the Explorer's pack, the Priest pack, and the Scholar's pack. Does anybody know which packs they bought?
Again, how would we check this?
It would be through your inventory. I'm not familiar with D&D Beyond, so I don't quite know how to get you there.
An Explorer's pack.
An Explorer's pack comes with a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin. There's also
Okay.
50 feet of hempen rope strapped to it.
No, we're reading it wrong. Right, there is 10 days of ration. It says rations 1 day, then look, quantity 10.
Oh, right, gotcha.
Oh,
There you
Oh,
go.
my
Of
quantity
course,
is only 5. Big rip.
The Burglar's pack only has 5 days of rations.
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
god.
So
Thank-
I have the pack that you literally just read out, the 10 torches, 10 rations.
Yep,
Tinderbox.
the Explorer's pack. Yeah,
Alrighty,
that's pretty common. There's also the Dungeoneer's pack. That one could be potentially useful, but the Explorer's pack is the most common, and that's pretty useful. It's got a lot of important things. You've got the water skin in there, which, if I recall, that holds a gallon of water. and yeah,
Well,
4
I have a
pints.
water skin as well.
Yep,
Yeah.
water can.
That comes with the Explorer's Pack.
4 pints of liquid.
Right, I think well, in that case, we're good then. We've got 10 days worth of rations,
Half a
torches,
gallon.
tinderboxes, water skins, stuff like that. So
Would the guild hall sell like basic rations or anything like that? Or
Through the canteen, yes.
Through canteen,
They've
cool.
got ready-to-travel rations, and they can fill your water skins.
yeah, I'm gonna head up there, stock up a few more rations. Just so I've got as much as everyone else. I'll get another 5.
you're smaller, you don't
Okay.
need as much as us.
Do you have any dietary preferences?
Not really, nope. As long as it's not
Alright.
moldy ice cream, I'm good.
Just give them vegetarian.
Had enough of that.
She laughs a little bit. But yeah, she'll give you your standard rations. So a standard rations of a full day is 5 silver, and that
5 silver, damn.
is well, so that's kind of expensive for just food, but it's made to last a really long time. So you have the option here. You could buy fresh food. You know, you could buy a loaf of bread and some cheese. That's actually cheaper, but of course it won't last 3 or 4 days. But if you just eat that in the next day, it'll probably be okay. But the stuff that the rations themselves, the stuff that you get with that, you're talking like jerkies and preserved nuts and hardtack and dried fruit, stuff like that. You could have rations that will last months. And so if you're going to be gone for a long time, rations are worth that investment. But if you know that you're only going 3 or 4 days, you could, and also too, it's not an empty world. There are places you can stop along the way. You could subsist on fresh food or even hunted food much, much cheaper.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Is that 5 silver for one rations pack?
5 silver for 1 day's food for rations. Yeah.
I mean, I've got 5. I'll be fine for the journey, that's for sure. So, I'll hold off for now.
Assuming nothing goes wrong.
Assuming nothing goes wrong, which everything's gonna go wrong.
Yeah, but again, you know, that's because it's.
Piero might just
Those
wake
are-
up with 1 extra
those are
ration
preserved.
missing.
I'll add, like, you could get a loaf of bread is like 2 copper. I mean, by the comparison, you could literally get 10 loaves of bread for less than half of the cost of a ration. But the 10 loaves of bread won't last 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
but you could get a big old chunk of cheese and a couple loaves of bread and just munch on that for the next day, and then that'll cost you less than a single day's ration for a single person, and that'll feed all 4 of you. You know, so you can plan those things ahead, and if you stop at inns, you know, your typical place, your typical inn, you could get, you know, somewhere between a silver to 5 silver, depending on how good it is. And in terms of meals, like if you were to just eat at, the canteen, it's like 2 copper a meal. Like that's the sort of the comparison. So if you find places to eat along the way, it might cost you, you know, at most maybe a silver, maybe 2 silver per for a good meal. You know, rather not even for like a silver per. Well, yeah, about for like a really good meal, it's about like a silver. And so you might be able to save like 4 silver a day if you stop at inns. But again, if you go off the road and you need rations for, you know, 3 or 4 days, or in a cave or something like that, basically that's what the rations are really good for. Is they're preserved and they're, you know, really important for that. But yeah, they are ridiculously expensive to eat all the time. And frankly, I mean, who wants to eat dried fruit and jerky and nuts all day, you know? Like,
Fair point.
a bottle of wine, or you could get like a pitcher of wine for like a silver or 2. You know? Get a
Good thing that I'm not the one keeping track of the treasury then.
Yeah. You can
Good
buy
thing.
a big jug of ale for a silver. You know? Like, yeah, I'm just saying. Keep these things in mind, is that you can there are other options than just rations.
Interesting.
And of course, there's hunting.
Yeah.
And
Well-
foraging, and fishing, and you have mess kits, so you can actually cook. For the full adventuring gear, with the Explorer's pack, you've got a full mess kit. You've got a tender box. You've got everything. You can, you would be able to if you've got a decent dagger and you've got something you could, if you had a fishing kit too, you could just get some fish, clean them, grill them up. You got that option too. Anyway,
Fair one.
I think I've given you enough
Yeah.
to do things.
Well, in that
Oh,
case,
We're good for food now, so.
No. I mean, if we can just purchase some cheese and bread for the first day tomorrow, and just save a few days of ration, it makes sense to just purchase 1 day's worth for all 3 of us. Or technically all 4?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4.
So maybe like 2 big hunks of cheese that you split, and then maybe a loaf of bread each. That should be enough for a day or 2.
Okay. And since that is a party meal,
So that would be 2 silver, 8 copper for 2 hunks of cheese and 4 loaves of bread.
okay. And they're able to change silver to copper since it is a canteen.
Yeah, they'll give you full change. No
Okay.
issue there.
So 2 silver.
if you come in with the platinum, they're gonna look at you funny. But if you're only paying 1 coin up, they can give you change.
Alrighty.
And they'll even, if you want, they'll even fill your water skins with wine or ale.
Oh yeah, Finny's definitely all about that.
Don't tell Finny that. Don't tell him.
You could do it. I'm just saying. It's basically somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2 silver to get, or maybe a silver and a half to get a water skin of wine, and then a silver for a water skin of ale.
Well, it makes sense just to stay with the normal water for the meantime.
All right.
That's what you think.
The water is free. They'll give you the water for free.
And actually, while I'm at it, since we are out of silver, we'll change one of the golds to a silver. So we'll change that into that.
Well, you need to speak to them and ask them if they're okay to do that.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually, fair point. Are they willing to trade a gold for 10 silver?
Ooh, we're a bit light, I'm afraid.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we could do coppers, but we need the silver.
Don't forget to add the bread and cheese to your inventory since you bought it.
Oh yeah. So, whoa. Alrighty.
Yeah, if anyone is curious, it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like a full rye, round loaves, and the cheeses itself. It's probably a somewhat kind of harder. Not quite sure what animal, but it's a bit of harder, kind of yellowish cheese.
I mean, absolute worst comes to absolute worst. I've still got a crate of 7 mice. Absolute worst. No, I'm gonna say 6, because Jeremy lives always. Jeremy will not die.
Of course, Jeremy. Alright, so what do you guys want to do?
Alrighty. In that case, since we have purchased the day's worth of ration, I believe we are able to.
Wait. No, never mind. Carry on. Go ahead. It's fine. I just remembered back to what he said. So I was thinking about the expenses thing, and then I remembered if you're going to eat anyway, why should they pay for it? So
Yeah. But
I was about to tell you to get. Basically. It's all good. Listen.
They're probably not going to cover for that. No.
Alrighty, well, in that regards, I believe that we can begin our journey.
Okay. Do you guys want to walk, or do you want to try to hitch a ride? Do you want to?
Guild said they'd cover that, so I say we try and find a wagon.
Yeah, you could commission a wagon. You could rent one and ride it, drive it yourself, or you could actually hire a rider, hire a driver, and to do with that if you want. You would certainly get there faster that way.
But the real question is, does anyone here actually know how to drive one?
I was gonna say, I don't think we should drive or rent a car. We should. Surely there's travel wagon, kind of like taxi service. There must be wagons just waiting to take people to places.
Yeah, you can hire.
Yeah, there's a wagon right outside of Whiterun. Takes you all the way to Riften.
Funny.
I'm sorry.
So I reckon
I'm sorry.
we do that. I don't want to rent a wagon of our own or anything like that. Because no.
Yeah, knowing Finny, he'll probably take the horse and drive it off the cliff.
Drunk and crash it.
Yeah.
Nonsense. I wouldn't risk my box of mice.
Okay, then
They die in the crash. Yeah, I say we hire a wagon and a driver. Guild's already said they're gonna pay for it, so done deal.
But
They did.
How do I get a receipt from a wagon driver?
Oh, just get it on paper. You can be the note person.
Well, we have to check if he's got I don't have any paper with me.
IOUs.
Get him to write out some sort of receipt or something.
Actually,
so
I'm gonna head back to the front desk real quick. Fuck, what's his name? Edgar. Edgar, wasn't it?
Edgar.
Yeah, Edgar.
Edgar.
Yeah. Hey, Edward.
There's actually a plaque that says it in 3 different languages.
Look up. Hey, Edward. Edward, you got him out? Edward.
What?
Hey, there you are, Edward. There you are.
He's got a bifocals on and he's flipping through papers.
You're not busy, are you? No, you're never busy. You're never busy, Edward. Always got time for me. With the whole, you paying for travel and all of that, do we get a lump sum for that to cover that now? Because I'm fairly sure if we hire a wagon or something, they're gonna want payment up front. Or do we bring back the receipts and you reimburse us later? What happens to that?
Are you unable to pay for it yourselves? We do have loans, if needed.
How much would... Actually, we don't even know how much a wagon would cost.
Yeah,
We don't need a
wagon
loan. We don't want to borrow money we have to pay back. We just want to know how the cost is covered. And my presumption is we bring back receipts
Yeah, it's reimbursed,
later.
I'm guessing.
Potentially.
Yeah,
If they don't trust Scruff.
how is it done? How is it done?
You bring back,
I'll ask him.
if you bring back a signed and authorized receipt, we will reimburse. If you cannot afford for the adventure, we do have loans. You can speak to some of our authorized money lenders. They have competitive rates for adventurers for short-term and long-term. Sometimes for purchasing equipment, other times for adventuring expenses. You might even be able to find an investor, in which case they'll usually just take a portion of your adventure, of your haul, so to speak.
Gotcha.
But they'll usually require a guarantee of future payment with collateral.
Well, turn back to the rest of the party. Mention try and find a wagon, try and find some means of travel. See, whether or not we can cover it and go from there, I guess. Shall we?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, while you are in front of Edgar, why not ask if he would suggest any wagons instead of, us accidentally choosing the most shadiest looking ones? That's not a bad idea. You know what?
Who wants to say it?
I'll approach Edgar and
Mhm.
ask in regards to the wagons. Little ask him about.
He leans over, and there's a creak in his chair underneath his like lurch-like form, and he picks up a bit of a pamphlet and slides it across, and it's a threefold pamphlet that says "Need to travel" on the front, and then when you open it up, it's got a picture of a cart, and then a guy standing there with a big smile and a thumbs up, and affordable rates. We'll go everywhere. Anytime you like. No questions asked. We even haul treasure. And it's got an address that's like 2 blocks from here. And it says very, very fine print at the bottom. Not responsible for being lost, essentially. It doesn't translate well into common, but this is potentially someone that seems to be preferred by the Adventurers Guild.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should add, it says on it, Benny's Bargain Travels.
Nice.
Guess we're going to see Benny's Bargain Travels then, or whatever.
That's funny. I'm sorry. Just kind of a dumb name variants for Edgar, and it got onto the name Eddie, and then Rose's comment just said Eddie Mercury.
Whatever works, man.
I mean, if
Good old Eddie Mercury, the cleric. Clerk, sorry, clerk.
No, Bard. Easily Bard.
Yeah, Eddie Mercury and Bard. Anyway, sorry, continue on, sorry.
Well, what do you guys want to do? You've got this information.
Yeah, I reckon we go find a wagon, see what's around.
Benny. To see this Benny guy, he said it's like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, we'll see Benny, see if we can find anything else as well, try and get the best price we can, and then go from there.
All right.
So don't mind mine's horrendous spelling. Whoops.
So you head on over to Benny's Bargains Travel. You think that, I mean, come on, he could have thought of another B word. Like, the alliteration is just broken. It feels wrong in the tongue. But anyway, you get to Benny's Bargain Travels, and they, seem to be fairly busy. You can see a couple of decent carts. They seem to be also a sort of cartier shop. They're possibly repairing and building new, but they're busy at work. There's the occasional thump of a hammer and the sound of a strange beast. Not a horse, but something. Maybe it's a riding animal, but maybe it's being used for labor. You don't really know. But they seem to be busy. They have a storefront. Would anyone like to
Anyone at all?
speak with anyone?
Well, I mean,
Any questions? How do you all react coming up? And it's basically a very lively shop, and it's got various bays with carts in them. People busy at work, moving back and forth. Business is good at Benny's Bargains Travels. Benny's Bargain Travels.
well,
We just want to flag someone down, so flag down a worker and ask them.
Taxi,
who to speak
taxi!
to.
Yeah.
He stops. Says, "Well, I can help you. I can help you." He pulls out a rag and he's wiping some wheel grease off of his hand.
Are you the big man, Benny?
Oh no. I'm not Benny. No,
Ah.
Benny retired. We got Benny Jr. You need to talk to Benny Jr.?
Man, Benny retired? Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, we went way back, me and him.
He retired, I think, 25 years ago.
Oh, wow. Time flies, huh? I think my character's only like 21.
full of shit. That's what he is.
You guys looking for a ride or?
Yeah, if we can. Looking for a wagon, if...
Where you going? Yeah, I can. He goes over and he smacks one particular wagon that's painted as sort of gray and red. And he says, "Oh yeah, I can take you wherever." Where are you headed?
We're gonna go to Rhombus Valley, if you've ever heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Well...
Where is it?
It was... Fuck. It was east, wasn't it? Like east, southeast-ish?
A little east by southeast. About 78 miles.
Yeah, oh, about east, southeast, you know, about 3-4 days travel from here.
Those terrible directions. Let me check the map. And he says, come on.
You know, down the one road. Yeah, there's a tree down there somewhere.
He has a map because we just didn't fucking bother.
He's trying to get you guys. Come on. Let's go look at the maps. Come on.
Yeah.
He takes you back into the the sort of storefront. There we go. And there's this big cabinet, and he opens it up, and he starts to pull out the drawers, and you can see that each one is labeled sort of different cardinal directions and regions of the continent. And he pulls out one, and he says, "Okay, let's see here. Right here." And he points at a section, and he says, "Is this it?" And if anyone looks, it does indeed say Rhombus Valley in very fine print.
That'd be the one. At least I'm presuming so. Unless there's another Rhombus Valley around here, that'd be really confusing.
He looks at it and he says, "Yeah. This is no problem. Yeah, I can get you there. No problem. You guys ready to go? You got luggage?"
How much of cost would it be to get a wagon there?
Oh, yeah. Cost. He goes over and he's kind of looking at things. Looks at the map a little bit. Pulls out a compass. Do this, adjust it. Okay, this one gets Neverwinter Woods. So past Tribor. Okay. Hang on. And he goes over and he opens another drawer and he picks out a book, akin to like a little black book, and he just goes through and he's flipping through and he's looking at the map and he looks at the book, and if you happen to glance at the book, it seems to be a bit of a catalog of inns and their costs, and he seems to be trying to figure out how much it'll cost as he's going through it. Okay, all right, and then he picks up an abacus and he begins to slide everything over, and he's counting on his fingers and sliding the different points of the abacus over. And he seems to come to a bit of a conclusion, and he nods, and he says, 6 gold, 1 silver, 8 copper, half up front.
Now, since this is being covered by the guild, can we receive a copy or a confirmation on how much gold it will cost?
Oh, you're with the guild.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought you looked like adventurers. Absolutely.
Don't suppose we get...
Absolutely. I could give you a receipt. In fact, You know what? I think it might even cost 8 gold. Wink.
Don't suppose, us adventurer types, with the adventurer guild and all that, we're big names around here. I suppose we could get a friendly discount of adventurer guild discount or anything. Don't suppose.
He looks at you with kind of narrow eyes.
Big Benny would do it. Big Benny would do that.
He looks at the others and he says, "Okay, do you guys get it at least?"
Yeah. I get it. He wants us to.
You guys are new, huh? So
to pay more.
They're
so
paying
that we can
for anything I put on the receipt.
Yeah,
and so
but
if I
wouldn't
increase it
one-
a little bit, and then we split the difference,
Ah.
we both make more money. See? It's crime. He nods with a smile. You can see he's missing at least a couple of teeth. Eh?
I see.
Eh?
I see. Yeah.
We got a deal?
8
He
gold
offers
sounds
a hand that's
reasonable.
Still got a little bit of grease on it.
Yeah, I put my hand forward. I'm like, yeah, we got a deal, mate.
Alright, anytime you need a ride, just call for Jed. I'll be showing up right away. Absolutely! Alright, let's go. And he rushes out of the room and he goes back to the cart. And he opens the door for you guys to get in. Come on, get on in there, get on in.
Yeah,
And it's like we're talking like a stage coach. Like this is a pretty big cart. Like this is a good traveling cart. Not
like-
a lot of room for cargo.
Is this
But-
like the fanciest one they've got?
No, it's not the fanciest.
Not the fanciest.
It would be considered like the minivan of the carts. It's good. Like it can hold a little bit of cargo. It can hold a good amount of people. It's good comfort, but it is not the fanciest. But it's good.
Yeah.
So we have one thing to mull over before we get in this car. We have 4 gold in the group fund. He wants half up front. That's that 4 gold gone. Then once we arrive, we're gonna have to cough up another 4 gold to cover the rest of the journey.
Well,
And then
remember the actual cost is 6 gold. 6 gold, 1 silver, 8 copper, and so he's also going to require you pay half of the difference to 8 gold, because then you get to turn it in and you get more money than you paid. But also he gets more money than it cost. So it's actually going to be costing you more, but you'll make more money later, but you don't have the money now.
That is true.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But then also, when we get back, what if they say the receipt is invalid or something? Then we're down even more.
That would suck, yeah. But he's expecting 9 silver and 1 copper, in addition to the 6 gold, 1 silver, and 8 copper. Now, you didn't happen to ask if this is for a one-way trip or a two-way trip.
Fair point. Yeah, fair point. Yeah, I'll ask him. Does this cover returns as well, or is this one?
Yeah. You pay the half now, and then we go there. You do whatever. I counted for 1 day stay. Or do you need more, or did you want only a one-way trip? I figured you were just gonna pay me the remainder when we get back, and we just go for a day. How long do you need?
Not quite sure.
I'm not
yeah.
used to working with adventurers like this.
You know, us adventurer types, we could be out there for days and days. We're not really sure, so maybe a one-way trip would probably be better for now. Yeah, wouldn't want to keep you waiting in Rhombus Valley for several days now.
Yeah, you'd have to, it's basically like 2 silver a day just to sit someplace. Because I gotta pay for the animal, for the barding, I gotta pay for me for staying someplace. Even if I stay in the cart, it still costs. But
yeah, we'll get a one-way trip then. Yeah.
Just a one-way trip then?
Yeah, just the one-way trip.
Well, I mean, if it's only about 2 silver per day just to stay there, I'm sure the guild is
That will
willing
add
to-
up fast.
I'm sure Rhombus Valley has something to get us back. I'm sure.
He says, well, if it's just a one-way trip then that'll be, we can call it 3 gold even.
3 gold. Easy enough.
Yeah. He
Alrighty.
nods. Well, he says, actually, oh shit, I'm sorry. No, it's still the same price.
Wait,
'Cause
what?
he still has to drive back. No,
Oh.
retcon that. He says, no, it costs the same.
Alrighty, well,
I apologize. He says, yeah, if you were going to a bigger city, then I could just get a fare there or something. But no, this is a special thing. It's gonna take me just as long just to come back. So you might as well just have me stay. You're probably not gonna find a cart in Rhombus Valley. It's just farmers out there, judging from the small amount of print on that map. It's not important.
That is true.
I guess, your adventures, you could just walk back if you want, but it's a long way. Look to be about 70, 80 miles.
And have you seen the size of me? These little legs ain't going very far.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
this baby, and he smacks the cart a little bit, you hear something snap. This thing is great.
Is it meant to make that sound? That snapping sound, is that normal?
You haven't spent a lot of time on the road, have you, little fella?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's fine, trust me. Jab would never lie to you.
Nah, I'm sure you're good. Big Benny and all as well. You're under his employ? Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I mean, technically I'm not really employed, I'm more of an independent contractor, but yes.
Yeah, even still, working,
we
working
doing
under
this?
Big Benny's area.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, I don't see why
Yeah.
not.
Alright. He holds out his hand.
I guess more out of the group fund. I'm gonna be expecting more gold soon.
You're gonna be expecting more now.
Yeah, he's expecting essentially like 3 gold and a silver. Or 3 gold and at least 9 copper. That's the half of the official payment. But he'll expect more at the end.
Oh, frick. We got 4 gold and 7 copper. Yeah.
You might be able to talk him down, You might be
No.
able to give him a whole, I'll gladly pay it Tuesday for a hamburger today kind of deal.
Well, I'll let the rest of the group know, and maybe one of them can sweet talk them down a little bit.
I mean, I can definitely try, but what do you offer?
What about just free gold at the
Oh,
moment?
I'll remind you guys too. You do have your own personal starting gold. You could add that in and then reimburse yourselves later from the group fund. You can do that if you want. That's a possibility if you're a little bit low on cash right now. You do have a pretty good amount of gold between you all, somewhere in the neighborhood of at least 30 gold.
But unfortunately, we don't have any copper. That's the
My
point.
character's background starts out as a noble, so I have like 25 of my own.
Yeah, I mean, he might settle on. He might settle for just the 3 gold, or you could give him 4 gold. You can give him more than you owe right now, but in the end, you're going to be paying it anyway. So, or you can just ask him for change. Whichever way you want to go about it, but he is holding out his hand.
Ugh.
I say we just offer him slightly more now, so that we don't have to fuck around with trying to break gold and break
Yeah,
silvers and
yeah.
stuff like that. Because I'm only carrying gold on me. I think we're all only carrying gold in our personal account. So if we
No,
don't do
I'll-
that, we're gonna have to go to the bank.
I will allow it right now, where since it's unreasonable to think that you would only have the gold, we can assume that at some point in your lives, in the past several years, you have made change. So you can, for this one time for your starting, you can have your coinage in whatever denomination, as long as it's the same total.
Okay, well,
Okay,
in
cool.
that case, do we just want to quickly pause, and let's just clarify on how much
Shit.
we all technically start
Break
with.
down our currencies.
Yeah,
So-
do that real quick.
So as a soldier, you mentioned I would start about 10 gold. Yes.
Yes, your starting is typically with 10 gold, and you have since made 1 gold, 1 silver, and you may or may not have put that into the party fund. You may also even have a buy-in for the party fund, where each of you contribute at least 5 gold. You know,
Hmm.
that's the seed money, so to speak, for the company. Or you could get super progressive and all give 50%.
I'm down to give 5 gold to the fund. keep it going for now.
What a surprise! The guy that's got a little bit more doesn't want to give it.
Yeah, come on, Alucard, you've got more.
Oh no, I'm trying to work out my currencies here. I'm trying to break it down.
I'm just
trying
gonna
to break
break
it
down
down.
mine real quick.
Right, so I have
And
3.
I thought I needed a map.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna actually add a quick channel.
Wait till we
here
get to the
gold.
audit. We're just gonna get to the whole episode of taxes. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm already
You have-
assuming you have an adventuring charter. I'm not gonna make you go through the process of finding one, which I did to another group. It
Oh,
was so good. We had an entire episode of them trying to get a form signed. I am so evil.
You can
By
tell
the
that
way,
you're having.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. I'm loving the fact that it's just like that we've spent an hour on money changing.
Yeah.
Right, I think I've broken mine down.
No, I've broken mine to what I want.
I think
it's
mine's
better.
I think mine's pretty reasonable.
All right, yeah, because you know
Actually, I'm
the
breaking
idea of
mine all,
well, I just have exactly 25 gold. No, that's just unrealistic. Yeah,
Actually,
you should be expected to have common currency. I'm not going to punish you for not having them because you simply happen to be temporarily or rather immediately substantiated into the world.
just
You know.
poof. Ta-da!
Yeah, your characters have always been there. They have scars already on them. They have different coinage that's common to the realm. You know, so
Out of
But yeah.
curiosity, actually, because I've noticed in like most games it's never used. What is Electrum?
Electrum is a combination between gold and silver, and it's worth 1 Electrum is worth 5 silver. So it's like half the value of a gold. It's uncommon. It used to be more commonly used, but not so much anymore. The system has basically abandoned it. It's described as being a defunct currency that is sometimes found in ancient kingdoms.
Okay.
Comes up occasionally, but it's usually not used as a daily currency.
Hmm.
And the realms as well, each of the individual realms, the amount of weight for the currency has mostly been standardized. But a lot of them have different sayings. In fact, let me... one of the other campaigns they run is in the Kingdom of Cormyr, and I've got their coin names here. Let me see if I can open that booklet and see. So... I'm trying to recall what they call them. I think one of them's called like the Silver Thumbs, and then Full Lions, 3 Crowns for Platinum. Yeah, they've got different names. But anyway, we're just going with gold, silver, platinum. Because,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Mhm.
Any more questions?
No, I'm good.
No?
All right. Jed has his hand out. He actually makes a throat clear. He's not looking at anybody. He's just kind of looking around like it's going to be really awkward if nobody gives me money.
I'm gonna look up at Pierre. Come on, big guy. Come on. Come on, you got this, yeah?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
how much
Come on,
is
big
he
guy.
expecting?
It was 3
Well, he said
gold.
half up front, which would be essentially somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 gold and maybe 9 copper, but you could just give him 4 gold. He would certainly be satisfied, or you could give him the full 3 gold, 9 copper, or somewhere in that neighborhood. He might even be okay with 3 gold.
You know what? Yeah, he seemed like a friendly dude. Yeah, let's give him the full gold, and let's keep him a little happy. Because if we
Yeah.
get stuck out there, we're gonna have to walk all the way back. And
That's what I was
I ain't walking with a half one. You know what I'm saying?
He flips one of the coins with a nice ting, kind of a ring, catches it in the air, and says, "Nice doing businesses. All right, let me get it hitched up, and we'll be ready to go." And he pockets the coins, and he does a little jig and runs off, presumably to get a beast of burden. And you all can settle into the cart. It's a bit cozy, you know, there's a little more room for some than others.
And you're sitting on PR's lap.
Yep.
I'm more surprised nobody's riding on the roof.
If it's small enough, I'm gonna sit on his lap and just rest my legs up on Alucard's knees on the other side of the cart.
It's completely unnecessary, but yes, you could do that.
I
There's
want
more
to do
than
it.
enough room for 4 full-grown adults, and even more so considering one of the adults is not even fully grown. Well, compared to the normal medium proportions, I should say.
Mm.
You know, it's comfortable, but it's not. You know, you're not all going to be able to lay down in this thing. This is, you don't want to.
I can. I'm just
sleep in
gonna.
this.
I'm gonna just lay down on people's laps, honestly.
Alrighty, well, if he's laying down on my lap, I'm just gonna quickly just motivate him to give a bit more gold to the group fund, as we are now down to 7 copper.
I already said I'm happy to give 5 gold. Alucard's the one that's not coughing up gold.
As I said, I was working out my currencies. I'm more than happy to put in like equal 5 gold, whatever.
No, I'll put in 5. I'll put in 5 to it.
I'm just
Alright.
working out if it is the best idea for us to only put in bloody gold, because otherwise we're going to be in the same situation where someone goes, "Oh, it's 10 copper,"
put
and
in-
we go,
I'll put in,
"Oh, gold."
You can put in the equivalent of 5 gold. You know,
Alright.
the idea is just you get the base of the currency in there. It could be 5 gold in silver, 5 gold in copper, whatever. But the idea is you just supplement some so that you have the balance.
Add, it'd be 50 silver is 5 gold.
50 silver
Yeah.
would be 5 gold. Yeah.
Trying to basic math and failing here.
Yeah.
Add 50 silver for me, so I can deduct 5 gold for myself.
And I'll
Oh,
add
direct
too.
50.
That's quite a bit of clink. It's 50 coins, so that's fine.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Oh,
I'm
do
holding,
we
so I
wanna-
don't mind.
do I add in, what's it called? I'm trying math here. 8 gold, 18 silver, 20 copper. Pretty sure it adds up to 10 gold total.
For
Well,
For the group
say
fund.
that again.
So if we're splitting it, you know, we're having to go to a bank or anything like that. 8 gold, 18 silver, and then 20 copper.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, that gets you there. And I'll add too that
That splits it up a bit.
Oh.
50 coins makes up a pound. So, like you got a pound of silver in there. You know, basically this is a pretty hefty coin bag, so that's not bad. But you can also imagine, and that's important to keep in mind, if you recall the example that I gave before of finding 35,000 copper pieces.
Yeah.
That if you imagine that it's 50 coins per pound, you're talking about 700 pounds of copper. You wouldn't be able to carry a lot of that back. That would take effort to be able to do.
Backpack will be alright.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, of course, is it worth the 350 gold that it's even there? Plus, you're to probably take it to a moneylender. They might take a couple of percentages. So is it really at the end of it, if it's going to cost you 500 gold to get the 350 gold, it might be one of those situations where it's like, all right, just fill your pockets, but you might leave 30,000 copper
Yeah.
just behind because it's just not worth even picking up.
and that's fair enough.
Anyway, just things to keep in mind because, you know, weight does happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bear, sorry, let me just clarify on the party gold. So, 5 gold is from Finny, and 5 gold is from Alu. So that, and it was 8 gold 18 and 15 silver, was it?
18 silver, 20 copper. If we want to break it down.
Alrighty. And
Oh, okay, I understand what you were saying now. I was still trying to work out, when you said that initially, I was trying to work out what the hell you were on about, where the 10 gold was coming from. Because I had done like 50 in silver, but you're just changing that up a bit, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just doing
I'd
a
be stoked. I'm like, where did he get this extra money? I thought you were giving him everything you had for a second. I was like, wait, what?
God, no.
Yeah, because it is
Absolutely
good to
not.
have. It is good to have some gold, you know, because sometimes there are things where it's just like, okay, well, what are we gonna buy? Well, let's see. This act costs. It's magically enchanted. It's 28 gold. Will you accept copper? No, fuck no.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes it is good to have the big coins.
It's like those videos on Facebook of you know, people paying parking tickets or whatever just in like 5-cent coins.
God.
Exactly,
That's
and you
because-
don't
that's
want to
because
be.
they're all under the assumption that you can't refuse legal tender, but you actually can.
You can, yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah, that's. You don't want to be the adventuring group that only pays the small coin. That's
Yeah.
a rumor that's gonna. That is a reputation that is going to follow you. You know, if you pay with exact change, yeah, okay. You know, some people are probably gonna remember it. If you pay over, you'll be well liked. But if you pay in the smallest denomination every single time, not good. Yeah, you're gonna have to, you know, old Jed's probably not even gonna listen to your calls anymore.
Mm.
Anyway, so all settled, all ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
hold on. I'm just taking my gold as well.
I think we've spent long enough here, so
Yeah, fantastic. We're an hour and 34 minutes in, and we have just begun. All right, the cart begins to pull its way out and leave from Neverwinter, and it starts to head down the high road, going south. As it leaves Neverwinter, you often forget, perhaps at least, that Neverwinter, of course, has its name and reputation from the fact that it is never winter. It's quite cold, or even when it's quite cold elsewhere, it is warm in Neverwinter thanks to the fire elementals that are within its rivers, and apparently also ice cream shop. So, as you leave Neverwinter, you're surprised to find that actually, apparently, the rest of the countryside is in the holds of spring. It's quite nice. There's a bit of a thaw. The road is a bit sludgy, but it's not so bad. But you begin to head south on the high road, and Jed is singing a bit of a tune as he goes along, swinging his head. How do you guys pass the hours as he drives out?
I'm gonna have a nap.
That's fair. Anyone else want to do anything to occupy themselves? Any, you know, whittling or reading or anything?
I'm presuming seeing as I've got proficiencies in like die sets and playing card sets, I'd have like a die set or a playing card set, wouldn't I?
Almost certainly. Yeah. You can definitely have them. Yeah.
I would probably just play some card games, see if anyone wants to join on in to that.
Yeah, I would definitely
Practice
join in.
card tricks. And,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
play 3-person solitaire. Yeah, you can get a game of Crazy 8. going.
Go fish.
Yeah, that works. It almost comes to blows, but you know, your cooler heads prevail. But yeah, you can play some card games as you go along.
Finny
Now,
conveniently wins most of the time.
I was about to say, is anyone wise enough to not gamble? Anyone gambling on this, or you guys just playing?
I'm
for-
down to gamble.
Nah, I'm playing for fun.
Yeah, I
Come
think
on,
that's,
one copper. Go on.
Yeah, I'm not.
One,
no,
just
no
one
takers.
copper.
I'm not gambling against anything.
Fenny's like, oh, but I'm so bad at this game. And you lose
I've only just
terribly
played
2
this,
games
like-
in a row.
Yeah, I've only played this once or twice.
Yeah, I don't even understand. Look at this. I bet this card isn't an ace. And he pulls out an ace. He's like, look, I'm terrible at this.
Oh, full house. Beginner's luck.
Wondering how many cards Vinny has.
Oh, 5 aces. How's that work?
The king of beers. But yeah, you can get yourself. You can play the game and enjoy yourself, and it certainly helps. Until several hours later, the cart pulls into a stop. It's even a little bit after sunset, and it's quite dark after he pulls into a town. And he gets out and smacks it, and he says, "All right, you don't have to stay in there, but don't leave with my cart." As he walks into an inn, and somebody else begins to take the cart around back to park. Now, do you guys want to stay at the inn?
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
It seems like it's actually a pretty decent inn. Quite nice. This being so close to Neverwinter and being on the high road, it would almost certainly be quite nice.
Yeah, I'll head into the tavern, into the inn.
Fairly busy on the spring evening.
Ooh, perfect.
Indeed. There is someone playing a kind of a flute, sitting by the fireside. Quite a few other individuals, the occasional shout and laugh as people tell stories throughout the bar.
Can I have a quick look around the room, see if there's anyone that looks, a little richer than the rest? Anyone that's got a little coin to splash?
Besides you guys, a lot of these folks, some of them seem to be hired help, possibly on other merchant trains, and a lot of them look rather, how to say, mercenary-esque. Not a lot of wealthy folk, it seems, but they all do seem to be drinking heavily.
Is there anyone sort of playing games, or anyone that looks interested in maybe playing a game or two?
Nobody seems to be playing games, but they do seem to be just kind of telling stories back and forth. Probably stories of fights and war stories and things. You might be able to start a game if you're interested.
Yeah, I'll look around and see if there's any tables I can just sit down at and join in conversation and stuff. Eventually spark up a game with someone.
There are a few empty tables, and you can of course just sit at tables that are occupied by others, as strange as it may be. Do you want to sit with some of the mercenaries, or do you want to sit with some of the more common folk?
Sit with some of the more common folk. Don't want to piss off the mercenaries.
I was like,
fair.
who's gonna pick off the perks? We're gonna be in the shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would sit, like, if there's an empty table nearby, like, a group of, common folk, I would sit at my own table, but,
Yeah, sure.
Start shuffling card deck, so just see if people take notice, anyone wants to join in, maybe?
Do the rest of you give Fenia a wide berth?
Yep.
Go to your own tables, just, avoid.
Well, I'd actually like to head to the, secretary/entrancey place and, ask about perhaps rooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm. They say that, we are a little bit low on rooms. We're a bit busy this time of year, but we still have, let's see. How many are in your party?
There's four of us.
Well, 3.5.
4?
Four, because you got to remember Cosmic's here, so.
Yeah, 3.5. I count as half.
I was gonna say, Finny, yeah, you count as that.
I am a
3.5.
small boy.
She says we do have a group room, if you don't mind sharing.
That'll be fine.
It's 8 silver.
Yeah, I'll cover the cost of that.
All right. And she hands you a key, and she says that. She gives you the directions of where it is from this inn. It's sort of a sprawling low inn, so it has different branches that go off of it. It's not multi-tiered. It's like a motel.
Oh yeah, one of those motorman's balls is flat, but just fair enough.
Yeah. And she says, anything else?
No, I think that's it. Thanks.
All right, enjoy your stay. And Finny, when you sit down and you bring out the cards and begin to ruffle or shuffle, you doing anything fancy, or are you just doing normal shuffles, just minding your own business?
I'll just be shuffling card deck, you know, chucking a couple down here and there, you know, just mucking around with them, do a couple of fancy shuffles here and there, you know, see if anyone catches an eye. If no one does, eventually, if anyone's nearby, I'll just spark up a conversation, you know, next table over or something like that.
If you could make a like a card check, so in this, because you have a proficiency, well, not so much a performance. You could, a lot of it in terms of the shuffling and the card mechanics, that really comes down to dexterity.
Right.
And it doesn't fall in entirely with sleight of hand, but it is very similar. Some things will fall into sleight of hand, but sort of your general shuffling. Yeah, because you are proficient in this these games, then you can add your proficiency bonus, and then you can add your dexterity. If you want to make a show of it, then you could add your charisma, or essentially treat it as a performance. But if you're just doing some good shuffles, then it would basically be a d20 plus your dexterity bonus plus your proficiency bonus to see how well you shuffle these things.
Alright, yeah, let's do a regular one. So, dex plus proficiency is 21.
That's pretty darn impressive. Yeah, you look like an expert. Your fingers are just flowing over these cards, and it's rather kind of almost beautiful. The way the cards are just flowing in these perfect patterns. You can fan them out like the feathers of a peacock, and then flip them right back up again. It's almost like magic the way your hands work in these things. Pretty impressive, and it draws the attention of a couple of the common folk nearby that begin to watch.
If I've noticed they're interested, I'll look over, so ask them, like, any of you guys ever played any card games before? Anyone interested in a couple of, you know, friendly rounds? Maybe a bet or two? If you're feeling daring enough.
Alright, I'm gonna have them make wisdom saving throws. What is your charisma modifier?
+3. I've got 16 charisma.
Okay, so we're gonna put your swindle DC at 8 plus proficiency plus charisma. So we're gonna put your DC at 13, and they're gonna make saving throws, wisdom saving throws, versus that to see if they fall for this. Oh boy. One of them shakes his head and says, no. But 3 others say, yeah, sure, could be fun. And they take the remaining seats around the table, while the 4th just shakes his head and shrinks, but sits backwards in his chair to watch them.
I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, that guy is a bit smarter than the rest. He knows what's up. I'm just thinking that to myself.
Exactly.
I'm strolling back over from the front desky place now. I'm just gonna sort of stand at the sidelines and watch as well.
Okay. Do you want to be standing behind Benny so that you can see his cards, or do you want to be, you know?
Yeah. I'll take that position.
Okay, fair. So, what's the game, Finny?
Yeah, quite always like Texas Hold'em, so
Fair enough.
go have a game of that, I reckon.
So let's see here. What would be a halfling name for Texas Hold'em?
Who name them Hold'em?
I'm not sure.
Name down?
Maybe small hand draw?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
small and draw, yeah.
You only hold 2 cards.
Yeah, small and draw, yeah, that's cool.
Okay, fair enough. I'll write that down. Canonically, small hand draw. So, let's see. Do you want to? I can bring up a random card generator app and have it actually deal cards, or do you want to just like? Yeah, I think this will be interesting. So, actually, you know what? I think I have a deck of cards inside me. Yes, I do. I actually have a deck of playing cards here.
Nice.
Yeah, I usually have one at hand. I used to. Well, I doubt I was as good as Finny, but there have been more than a few occasions. So, I will deal out these actual hands, and if you intend to cheat, let me know how. And let me
Yeah,
know your
I'll ask around the table, you know, a couple of warm-up games, you know, see how things go, and then, you know, maybe put in a friendly little bet here and there. See what everyone thinks about that.
All right.
So if you're gonna have a couple of like practice games first, I'm not gonna cheat in it. I'm just gonna play it like it would normally be played. You know, try and just get everyone's trust going, basically.
Okay. You check your cards, and you've got the 5 of diamonds and the 5 of spades, and the king of clubs and the king of hearts and the 6 of clubs are out. You've got 2 pair right away. What do you want to do? One of them tosses in a copper. Yeah, the bet was to him, and then the rest call, so the pot's 3 copper. There was no ante.
I'll chuck in a copper for now.
Okay. And the turn was the jack of clubs. You've still got 2 pair. And what's your passive insight?
My passive insight is 12.
Okay. With your passive insight, do a bluff check on these fellas. Okay. The fellow that did the bet the first time around puts down 2 more copper. And the next fellow, he folds. And the third fellow looks at him and eyes him a little bit. And he folds.
Yeah,
You're the only one left in the game.
Can I make an insight check on the guy who's still in?
Yes. And any of you can roll an insight check if you want, or whatever.
That's not good. That's a 4.
I mean, you got 2 pair. I mean, what has this guy got? 3 of a kind?
No, it's small. I'll put in 2 more copper. It's small.
Yeah, exactly. It's small. All right. And then there's burn, and the final card is the 9 of spades. So you're still sitting at 2 pair. And this guy, he's looking at it, and he passes the bet to you.
Has it not been raised or anything?
He did not raise it. No, it's just you 2 in there, and the bet was to him.
So he checked.
Passed it. Yeah, he checked it.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
All right. He lays down his cards and says, "Read them and weep." And he lays down the jack over the other jack. He's got kings and jacks, 2 pair, while you have kings and 5s. And he goes, "Ha ha ha, easy money," and brings in the coins.
Good game. Good game.
Want to play one more? I think we'll. Do you want to cheat around, or
Yeah,
do you want to?
I'll bump up the ante a little bit and cheat in this one as well.
Okay. Well, let's assume that you play 1 or 2 more hands that are, pretty straight up.
Yeah.
In which case, roll a d4.
D4.
Yeah.
Any modifiers or just D4?
Just roll a d4. It's just
Straight
chance.
D4? Cool. 4.
Okay. Yeah, you lose the next one too.
Oh, well.
Hmm, yep.
Do you want to cheat on this next one?
Yeah, I'll cheat on the third one.
All
And
right.
how much copper is he down?
Yeah,
at the
do
moment?
I lose any copper in the next one? 3, 4 more?
Roll a d20.
D20.
Roll an insight check.
Insight, okay.
Yeah.
That is a 11.
All right. You see ahead of time. You know, you're only down probably 2 copper.
Hmm.
You didn't get
What's the first?
sucked
Yeah.
into a bet.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, you're realistically only down like 5 copper right now. So
Yeah.
how do you intend to cheat?
Is there any way I can palm like any cards or like why is it in like fake shuffling deck, like to have certain cards put like at the top of the deck?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah. So for this one, because you're no longer just doing normal shuffling and things,
Hmm.
you can go ahead and make a sleight of hand check
Okay.
to try and arrange the order. Now, what is your intention? What are you hoping happens?
Well, first off, that was a 19 for sleight of hand.
Okay.
I'm trying to arrange it in such a way that like I'm guessing I'd be dealer for this one if I'm shuffling it and rearranging it in my favor.
Well, you've been
presume.
dealing so far, and they've been winning, so they're fine.
Okay, cool. Works for me then. I'll arrange it in such a way that just the best possible outcome that I could get, I reckon. It's been a long time since I played Texas Hold'em, to be honest.
I understand. Yeah. So essentially, like, give yourself a pair of aces, and then try to make sure that there's another ace at least, so that you at least start with a 3 of a kind.
Yeah.
That's an easy one to arrange.
Yeah, we'll go for triple aces.
Yeah. And that way too, if the ace comes out, it can inspire some confidence in some other folk. So that can certainly help out. So, you deal the hands, and with a 19, it looks exactly like normal. And when you pick up your cards, exactly as expected, 2 aces. And on the card you can see, of course, as he picks it up, he does not show any surprise at these 2 aces, almost a satisfaction. And let's see if I set the cards correctly. And indeed, the first card, the 4 of hearts, followed by the ace of diamonds, and then the 3 of hearts. And exactly as expected, you've got 3 aces.
Nice.
So, when doing this, the bet has come around so that the third individual is the one doing it, and he actually passes the bet. So the bet is to you the checks.
I'll up the ante a little bit.
Alright, now...
Hmm?
Oh, go on.
I'm not sure I'll up the ante straight away. I won't up it too much. I'll bump it to 5 copper for now. I won't up
Okay.
it too much, you know.
Roll a deception check.
Deception.
Just to
Okay.
see how well you can kind of bluff here.
That is a 21. I have a very high deception modifier.
That's pretty darn impressive. Okay.
16 plus 5.
Yeah, they are all suckered in with that. So the next 2 call, so the pot's now 15 copper, but the third guy who started the betting actually folds. And neither of the 2 raise it. But you can see that they're squirming a little bit, but they're like, he's probably bluffing. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, someone's gonna win big here. Surely want them
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. The 4th card is the 10 of hearts. You're still looking good. You know, you actually have, in addition to 3 aces, you got a heart in here. So if another heart falls, They could be a flush, but of course, maybe they have a heart too. Uh-oh.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe this cheating might backfire.
I'll laugh if he loses after this.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Um.
Well, this is the fun part. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen. I'm literally dealing cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea if he's going to win or lose.
Oh, move another 5 copper for now.
You want to put another 5 copper down?
Yeah, I'll put another 5 down. Bump it up to a silver worth.
Ooh. Alright, the next guy's looking at it. That's...
Could buy a couple of drinks right there.
He picks up a silver coin and drops it in, raising you another
Ooh.
5 copper. The next guy throws in. So this is the guy that won the first hand. He's now raised you 5 copper. And the second guy folded, so it's just you two again.
Can I roll another insight check on him?
Yep.
Alright. That's better. That's 17.
Oh, man. This guy's probably... He might have a heart. He's probably hoping that he'll get a flush. But he's probably got nothing. I mean, you got 3 aces.
I'll put another.
There's no way he's got 3 aces.
Yeah.
And he might have 2 pair, you know, but
3 aces beats that, doesn't
you
it?
got 3 of a kind.
Yeah.
Exactly. Assuming he doesn't get a flush.
Yeah, I'll bump it up another 5 to match it.
Well, even then, he would need like a... Well, anyway, but yeah. If he gets a flush... I mean, there's ace, 3, 4. Maybe he's got a 2 and a 5. Maybe he's got a straight. Anyway, basically, it's not a guaranteed win, but he's probably doesn't have it.
Yeah, I'll...
So you want to call, or do you want to
yeah,
raise?
Yeah, I'll raise it by an extra 2 copper on top of that. So I'll put in 7 to match his and then raise it by 2.
You can see with your insight just a little bit of a flinch as you do, where he's like he doesn't want to pay in more. And you
Is
think,
there any
yeah,
way?
he's probably
Is there
bluffing. Go on.
Is there any way I can say to him, you know, you're in quite deep now, buddy. I mean, folding now, you'd be losing a lot.
You want to try and help the townsperson?
Yeah, I'm not trying to help
Yeah.
him. I'm trying to encourage him not to back out at this point.
I mean, either way, it's still pretty damn good
Go
for
ahead
me.
and
But
roll a persuasion check.
Let me find it. Persuasion. It is an 11.
Yeah, he's looking at you. He just laughs and shakes his head and he says, "Yeah, I know that means that I should go in." And he puts down 2 more copper.
okay, cool.
What a fool. And the final card is a 3 of diamonds. So there's a pair of 3s out. So you're sitting on a full house, aces over 3s.
Hell yeah.
What do you want to do?
Oh yeah, it's one more bet, isn't it?
Yep, it's your bet.
I'll just speak up, be like, you know, I always say, go big or go home. I was chucking 1 more silver. I bet a whole silver in.
You can see his face. He's given up on being even. He tries it first, and then he just gives up on it, and he just throws his cards down in frustration.
He's folding then?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the only one left. I'm gonna put my cards down and start scooping up the coin.
Mm-hmm. You've got yourself a big pile of money.
Wait, were you keeping track of that, or like, how much it was?
So you started off with copper, then he raised 1 silver over your 5 copper.
No,
I think the next-
everyone went in 5, I think,
well,
first.
hang on. Yeah, let me get my calculator out here. Hang
Yeah.
on. So
I'm pretty sure everyone
you
went
went
in...
in with
I should
You
have kept
went in
track
with
of
5 copper,
Yeah.
which was called by him and the guy next to him to get 1 silver, 1 silver and 5 copper. And in the next rotation, you put in 5 copper, which he raised by a silver, and the other guy drops out. You called with 5 copper. No, actually, you raised him 2 more copper, right?
that. Yeah, so that's 1 silver, 27 copper. At a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. But
I'm just doing it in the exact
right.
amounts for now.
You're looking at the coinage.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got 1 silver and was it 27? Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, because I called it and then raised it to 7 instead.
Yes, and then he called in with the extra 2.
Hmm.
And then that was it. Then after that, he folded.
Yeah, he didn't bet on top of that. Cool. So that's 1 silver, 27 copper up.
Yeah, there you go. Do you want the rest of the night to ideally go like that with that sort of level of cheating?
Yeah.
Or do you want to like lose, win big, lose, win big?
I'll definitely mix it up a little bit, just so you know, like, people aren't catching on. Definitely not
Okay.
easily, anyways. So I'm in big shit if they catch on.
Yeah, I hear you. The end result, after it all, you win, before they all leave, you win 6 silver and 2 copper. Well, in total
Nice.
denominations, it would probably be, of that 6 silver, only 2 are the actual silver coins. So realistically, you won 2 silver and 42 copper.
Alright, cool. I'll set that in now, cool.
Yeah, and it's a couple of hours, like an hour or 2 before
Nice.
they are just like, alright, we gotta get out of here, we're almost out of money. Before they leave, they're like, can you at least buy us a round of drinks?
Yeah, why not? I'm sure they're not too expensive here.
Alright, yeah, for a pitcher of ale is only 1 silver.
Silver, fuck. I thought they were cheaper than that.
Yeah, but that's like, quite a bit. You can buy them, a couple of mugs of ale, 3 copper each.
How many people are there?
Well, depending on how you want to determine it, there was the 4th guy that was just watching, but you're playing with 3.
Hmm.
But if you buy them an ale each, it's, 3 copper an ale. But you can buy them a big jug of ale, like a gallon of ale, for 2 silver, or half a gallon of ale for a silver.
Yeah, no, they were good sports. Yeah, I'll get a gallon of ale just for all of us to share.
2 silver? You want to drop in 2 silver?
Yeah, why not? I'll be having quite
fair.
a lot of it anyway, so.
I mean, it's free to you, so.
Yeah. Their money.
Yeah, and you're able to give drinks to quite a few people. You even get some slaps on the back from a couple of the mercenaries, as other people just come in and just like help themselves to the various drinks. Because you got a gallon of ale, it doesn't last too long. It goes pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
After these festivities, would you all like to have yourselves a long rest?
Yeah, I guess we should turn in for the night.
All right. The night is turned in, and soon enough the dawn arrives. You all have taken long rests, assuming there's no other business you wanted to take care of.
No, I've done what I wanted to do.
Fantastic.
Cheat people out of money. Hell yeah.
By the time you all...
Up 47 copper now.
Indeed. You all can continue to be munching on the sort of cheeses and loaves of bread, if you like. You can also get maybe some food here, some breakfast, if you're interested, before you head out again.
Well, can we check if the bread and cheese is still good from yesterday?
Oh yeah, it's still good, but of course you ate a lot of it. You only had a loaf of bread each, which, if you're sitting around snacking on cheese and loaf of bread, it'll be fine for the day. You can get by, you can eat it for the day.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. We go back, see if we can get any chatter from people. Maybe one of the travelers are from where we're heading to now, Rhombus Valley. Maybe have a bit of chatter.
So you can continue on with the breads and cheeses that you've got. Jed, of course, has himself a decent breakfast on your dime, of course. Well, of course, everything he's doing is on your dime, but he will be ready, and whenever you all are, you can start heading out once again into the wild yonder and find yourselves soon going east, right in front of the foothills of the Sword Mountain. And as you continue deeper inland, presumably heading towards Tribor, would anyone like to do anything, or just skip ahead?
I'll probably, is there room? I'm guessing, like, the driver is, like, up on a perch of the, wagon?
Yeah, he's out front, kind of in a driver's seat.
Is there enough room for me to sit there, like, beside him?
Oh, yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah, I'll hop around, and just
some fresh air.
see in this, bring in sights and all that. See what's around.
He just continues to sort of sing along. He definitely doesn't have the right words and probably not even the right tunes, but he doesn't seem to care. He just continually just going along. You at some point realize that he's even just singing about the things that he sees along the road.
I see
Happy
trees
little
of green.
red mushrooms. You know, just
Wait,
it passes his time.
Yeah, fair enough.
But eventually, you get to the town of Tribor. It's a bit larger, and able to accept a bit more. He parks. There's another inn. There's a little less mercenaries, a little less townfolk. It's a little quieter, a little more quaint. Do you want to try the game again tonight, or do you want to just have some rest?
No, I'll keep up my luck for now.
All right.
Give it another go.
Go ahead and roll either a deception or a sleight of hand to see how well you cheat, or
Sleight of hand, definitely.
deception to see how well you bluff, or you could just roll a straight d20 and just kind of see how well you do, whichever you like.
Is this like just for the first game or just the whole night overall?
For the whole night, it's not, you know, it's not economical to the time to play. every
Yeah.
single hand.
Yeah, I'll just do a sleight of hand because it's my highest one.
Sure.
That is a 14.
That's pretty decent. Pretty darn decent. So, the end result, you walk away with 23 copper.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
No, 23. That's 100 copper even. Nice.
Handy indeed.
I've got a lot of
One
copper.
Gold. 1 gold coin would be the equivalent. 2 pounds of pennies.
I'm sure at some point I can cash that in a little bit.
Would you like to get a room here as well?
Yeah, if everyone else is good to.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much are they in this place?
This one doesn't have it doesn't have a group room, but it does have individual rooms for 2 silver each.
It's the same cost as the group room was in the last place then.
It
Oh,
is.
I'll bunk with someone.
Yeah.
I'll bunk with someone. I'm presuming there's like a small chair or something in there. And I'm small enough I
Yeah.
can sleep on a chair.
Or a
something
bed.
else.
You've got like a sleeping roll, you know, it can be
Yeah.
arranged. Or heck, I mean, come on, you know, who's never shared a bed? Whatever.
Yeah, fair point.
But yeah, you could potentially go that route and save a little bit of money.
Yeah, I'm a bunk with someone in someone's room. Save a little bit of the cost.
Alright, you're bunking with Vosmik because he's not here to send her.
Vosmik,
reason.
buddy.
All right. So -6 silver from whomever.
We'll take it out of the guild. We'll take it out of the group fund.
All
Yeah, I was
right.
gonna
And
say, I covered it last time, not doing it again.
Alright.
and after a long day, of course, your water skins are empty yet again, and the bread and the cheese is no more. So you might want to consider, while you're okay for now for this evening, you might want to keep in mind that you might need rations in the morning. Speaking of, boom, it's now morning. Before you head out, would you like to? Are you going to use your road rations, or would you like to try to buy some food from this inn?
We should probably go buy some stuff if we can.
Let's
We
see.
want to save the rations for when we're out in the sticks and we can't get to an inn,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I said that.
Let's see what the inn can
So,
offer.
we'll see what I can buy.
All right. They've got some fresh biscuits. Those are available. They've also got, I mean, basically it's breakfast. So they've got, actually, hang on, let me see here. Check their menu a little bit. They've got fresh biscuits, beef sausage, and not a lot of vegetables this early in the morning. They also have a tart available, and they have some spice cake from last night. But basically, mostly the biscuits and the beef sausage.
Well, if we want to make another day's ration or another day's worth of rations, what would we be looking at? 4 people.
Yeah,
So
let's
for
let's get
4
another
people-
day's worth, yeah.
Yeah, for 4 people for an entire day, it would be somewhere in the neighborhood of. Let me do the math here. Get the calculator out again. Biscuits and sausage. The biscuits, because of the way they're made, of course, they're not as cheap as a loaf of bread.
Mm.
And, well, okay, they can be, but biscuits themselves are not as. They're different.
Easily made or
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah, they tend to be a little bit more expensive, but they're also flakier and a little bit nicer. So, keep that in mind in the sort of final calculation.
They're a bit more of a
So,
luxury rather than standard food.
yeah, where
Yeah.
before you paid 2 silver and 8 copper for the entire thing, this one would be more somewhere in the neighborhood of. Let me see here. This would be 3 silver, 2 copper. But this
Yes.
this is good beef sausages and hunks of or large amounts of biscuits and a little bit of cake. Like, this is a pretty good meal. Pretty good meals, I'll add.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right.
So that was a total of how much of it? Very
Well,
expensive.
3 silver, 2 copper, or 32 copper if you prefer, or 7 gold with no change, whichever you want to, whatever.
3 silver, 2 copper works.
3 silver, 2 copper.
Can I pay with that with my copper actually to get reimbursed from the party fund that
Oh
much
yeah,
instead?
that is
'Cause
fair. enough.
I'm stacking in copper at the moment. I want to try and break that down a little bit.
Yeah, you can pay them 32 coins. And there's a little bit of a sigh from the innkeeper, but he does count and accept every single one.
I'll throw in 1 silver in there. It's a 22.
Okay,
22
20.
coppers.
22 copper.
It's not as much. It's still a lot, but
You,
yeah,
you
1
give
silver.
it a smile and a shrug. Like,
I'm sorry.
oh my god.
I've been just got loose change. I'm really sorry. I hate to be that guy, but
If anything, you can blame his patrons because you want it from them.
Yeah, exactly.
it was
it's
Barry
their
last
fault.
night. It was Barry last night. Cheapskate in cards. Real cheapskate.
Yeah, it's totally not anyone else's fault except theirs.
Yeah, so
So-
it is.
Yeah, I mean, he don't even wanted that, so whatever.
So it's
That being done,
yeah, if we
heading
can knock 2 silver. Oh no, sorry, 3 silver, 2 copper off of the party fund, because I do want to be reimbursed for that. I'm just getting rid of some of my coppers, that's all.
Alrighty, 3 silver, 2 copper. Yep, we can invest that.
Right, cool. Remove that, and
And
then
done.
add 3 silver, 2 copper. Cool. So that rounds out a little bit instead. Still got a lot of copper, but
Yeah, still a lot of
yeah,
copper.
slowly dwindling it down.
I mean, you could put it into a bucket, just use it as a methanol. Wallop.
All right. Heading off again, though?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
All right. Jed greets you again.
Oh, actually, very sorry, before heading off, so Dave was ration, that wasn't taken out of the group fund yet. And we'll double clarify. Sorry. So, just biscuits and sausages.
Yeah, biscuits, sausages, and spice cake. The spice cake is...
Spice cake sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a night old, so it's a little drier, but it's still quite good. Yeah, it's quite good.
And cake is cake. I'll have it.
Yeah, it's like somewhere in the neighborhood of a little over a quarter of like a bundt cake. It's like a slice of the wheel.
Sorry, and that was, I believe you said it was about, oh wait, no, that's right, actually Finny did purchase that, right?
Yeah, and I want to be reimbursed for it, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
You would reimbursement.
I'm
And
just
that
trying to
was
knock it in some coppers. That's all.
I'm
Alright.
trying to work out what's going on with your personal gold, Rando. Like, you've got 8 gold 4, 15 silver 8, 50 copper 30.
Yeah.
I
That's
need
not
to
a
update my personal gold.
Oh,
Why is there like 2 numbers?
sorry, the left side was the current, or left side, or right side's current, left side was previous.
Why do you need previous? That's
Up
gonna get
here.
confusing, I think.
Yeah, that's
So
Hold on.
it's important to know to see the differences, but
Yeah.
whatever. It's not your pile. He's doing his thing. Let him
Yeah,
do it.
but-
He's the only one that needs to read it.
I'm not telling you what to do, I just looked and got confused.
It'll be my pile if I decide to steal it.
No, I'm just gonna throw this out there.
I won't be that guy.
Just a thought to keep in mind.
Mm.
I don't think there have been receipts for these rooms.
Crap.
Ah. Or are we still at the second tavern?
Yes. Because you're checking something before you left. You're still there.
Yes, well, Alucard, you can be our note carrier. Yeah, now, go.
No boy.
No boy.
Guess I'll head to the front desk and see if I can acquire a receipt for last night's stay then.
Of course. A receipt can be made out and signed and handed over. So you have a receipt for 6 silver for 3 rooms.
Man, the guild manager's not gonna be happy.
It's fine. I like the first place I paid for, so I don't care. It's my own.
Yeah. Something to keep in mind. You might even be able to, on your way back, stop by and get a receipt from the other one. You might want to keep that in mind.
Yeah, possibly, if they even
You're
remember
like,
us.
hey, we were here like a week ago. Could you write us a receipt for that too?
We just pop up a month later. Hey, we were here about a month ago. Do you still have that receipt?
Hey, so you remember the guy that just won like 70 odd copper? There's a big old mountain of it? Yeah. That night in particular.
They should remember you because you did buy a gallon of alcohol to share. So
Yeah, fair point.
You did.
it was a very festive evening.
Yeah, they probably don't get a lot of halflings buying drinks for, people. So,
That is true.
it is entirely possible. So, that being done, ready to go now?
I
Yeah.
believe so, yes.
Fantastic. So, that business being done, you having stopped at a couple of places, you continue on. You know that this should be, considering the speed of your travel, you should be coming up pretty close on your destination. You might even get there today.
It's pretty good.
Indeed. Because normally you can walk about 20 to 25, maybe 24 miles a day. So by walking it would take, usually 3 or 4, but these carts are able to go a little bit longer, a little bit faster, and you're actually able to get there a little bit sooner. And so going about 30 miles a day, you were able to make this journey in about 2.5 days.
Yeah, that's really, I really got a time short from 4 days.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
So we arrive in town, what, around, say, 1, 2 in the afternoon?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, but
Alright.
as you come along, as you leave from Tribor, you're going sort of east, and you're going more into the hills and mountains. The road even gets a little bit rougher, and then it soon comes to a river that is flowing south, and it's going along the river. You can hear the rushing, and as you're going along, it is starting to get pretty chilly and cloudy. It was, if you recall, you were just coming into spring. It's not uncommon for there to be spring chills, but this is really kind of cold, and it gets colder and colder and colder as you continue on, and 1 hour goes into the next, and soon you can start to see your breath. It is very cold.
That is no good.
And you can hear Jeb saying, "There's something a bit odd up here. You fellas might want to take a look."
Will I still be on the front, or?
The cart
Actually, no,
has
that
stopped.
was the previous day,
That
wasn't
was
it?
yesterday.
Yeah, that was the previous day. Yeah, I'll step on out of the carriage and hop on up next to him again.
You're at the intersection, and there's a sign that heads off to the right, towards the west, that seems to indicate towards the Rhombus Valley. And as you look down the road, it continues into, you can see the hills going along, but you don't actually see the end of the road. It just disappears into darkness. But in the or not into darkness, but into like grayish dark fog. But as it extends off into the distance and disappears, you can start to see that there's white on the fields. It seems that there's snow on the ground. This is next to a river. You're somewhat in the hills, but not super high up. It is not typical to have snow still on the ground at this time of year, even at this altitude and at this latitude.
Potentially doings of a sorcerer or something, controlling the weather. Mayhaps.
Do we have any, are we able to kind of, well, what can technically cause this type of effect?
Well, you guys want to maybe roll some Arcana checks? See maybe if there's magics that can do this, or
Yeah,
maybe
I'll roll an Arcana check.
history checks to see if this has happened before, or maybe religion checks to see if there's some particular angry god that might do this, or any other sort of knowledge checks that you all might think would yield some answers. We'll see what we can get.
I went +2s across the board of all of them, so I'll roll Arcana, I guess.
Oh,
I have about 3 Arcana that I can attempt.
I'll add, of course, Alucard, you have the mayor, or rather the note from Mayor Rodriguez that did say that winter has not ended. So this seems to be the place.
Yeah. I'll roll a history, actually. Roll
Sure.
a history, see what happens.
I
That is a
will
nat
roll
20, so that's 22.
Pretty good.
First nat 20. Hell yeah.
Okay, I will roll a religion check.
Okay. Would you like to roll anything, Alucard?
Nat 20.
Nah,
Really?
I'm good.
Really?
21 religion. Yeah, 21 religion.
You want screen cap that? That's
I
brilliant.
At this point, Alucard, you might as well. I mean,
I mean, I'm streaming, so I've got the proof, but...
I'll just roll an Arcana, Roland. See what
Sure.
happens.
Yeah, just, round it off, get another 20. Which you get out of the card.
17.
Ooh.
Womp womp. Total, or is that the roll?
17 total.
Okay.
Wow, not 3 nat 20s. A big rip.
Yeah. I would have accepted a
It's a bit like what the hell ever did.
Alright. So. Yeah, 17. Good enough. Good enough. Nothing wrong with that. So with those rolls, we'll just do them top to bottom here. Alucard with 17 through the Arcana. You know that there are really, really powerful magics that can change the weather. It takes a lot. I mean, some small effects can occur, like you know that there are druids that can create rain. You know that there are certain magical beasts and certain species and certain barbarians that can call lightning. You know, there are storms that can be created. There are things like that. But to have, I mean, you're miles away from this town still. To have miles away and essentially an eternal winter, a whole thing like this is tremendously powerful magic. If it's a spell, it boggles the mind. You are not aware of the level of magic it would take, merely that it is beyond your knowledge. Well beyond.
Probably not something we want to face if it is then.
Yeah, probably not. And Finny, with yours, you did a history check, yes?
Yeah, he did.
Vinny?
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Perfectly fine. So, with a 22 in your history check, you have heard of this sort of thing happening, where sometimes areas will just... I mean, Neverwinter has Neverwinter because fire elementals. There aren't really ice elementals, but sometimes there are spontaneous changes to weather. Sometimes it's magic, sometimes it's elementals, sometimes it's just strange beasts. You've heard of areas that sometimes they'll just turn into desert or turn into swamp. You don't recall hearing any areas that just suddenly have eternal winter, but you have heard of areas of like localized massive weather changes in a short period of time before. So it's not unheard
How far into spring are we?
of. You're about halfway.
Okay, so
well
this
into it.
this wouldn't be normal by this point in most
This
places.
is not at all normal.
Right.
It seems like, and even of course, as evidenced by the letter, that the residents of this town considered this to be so unusual that they, or it's even closer towards the end of spring. But the letters would indicate that the inhabitants of this town, the true people that have been benefacting from the town itself, they considered it to be so unusual and unseasonal that they seasonable. Well, anyway, they considered it to be weird enough that they asked for help.
If you don't remember what was written in the letter, you can check my inventory is put there.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yes, you can.
That is true.
Barely legible, but it is there. And Piero, you rolled a religion, yes?
Yes.
Well, there are several gods, and they have tremendous powers and influences, but usually they don't have large influences on the material plane. They can create their own realms, they can offer power to their followers, and, well, we can have a longer discussion about the way that powers and the whole sort of the physics of it and everything at another time, but essentially in this sort of a thing, gods, while a god might be able to do it, you've never heard of this sort of a thing really occurring. Usually, it's an individual that's doing it. Sometimes a god could channel their power through an avatar, and then they might be able to do something like that, but you're not aware of any gods that would be wanting to turn a valley into winter. Like, that doesn't line up with any religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I reckon at this point our best bet is to seek out the mayor of this town, get a bit more information on the matter for now. Go from
Harry gets.
Mm-hmm. Assuming he hasn't frozen solid. Alright, so heading
He has
into town
become
then.
one of Papa Pietro's ice creams.
Yeah. Jeb is still sitting up on top, looking down at you folk as you look off at the distance.
I mean,
Still
so
going?
I presume we're heading into town. Have we agreed to keep Jeb with us, or are we sending him back? What are we doing with that?
He was staying in the town until
He said 2 silver a day to stick around and wait for us.
I believe so.
Do we want to keep him around for a couple of days, see what the go is of all this, and if it's obvious we're gonna be staying here for quite a while, then send him back if need be.
Yeah, I reckon that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, you can recall too that if it's something that you need to stay around for, you could send him back, but you could also send him back with a letter from the Adventurers Guild. He could be very useful to have around, at least for now, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah, we'll keep him around for now, for sure.
Alright, so you start heading in towards the winter Rhombus Valley. It gets darker and darker, the cloud cover is strong over, the wind is howling in, and you can feel, even through the closed doors of this cart, looking out through the windows, which are fogged quite strongly, that it is a frightful cold outside. You can only imagine Jeb, who was not dressed for a winter adventure. He is probably not having a great time up there, but you hear no complaints, although the singing has certainly died off. But soon enough, in less than an hour, after passing across empty fields that you imagine would be covered in crops by this time of year, but instead are only covered with snow, passing the occasional house that most are dark, some have light, some have the burning of a dark smoke coming from their chimneys. They likely didn't have wood for a season and a half, but they're making do. But as you finally come into town, it's sort of T-bones. This whole road comes to an end. And in fact, at the end of the road, there is an inn at the end of the road, called the End of the Road, except it is spelled I-N-N-D of the road.
That's amazing. It is amazing, I love it.
It inspires a genuine headshake from Jeb. But he parks the cart out front and rushes in quickly to get warm. And inside, if anyone follows, it is completely empty, spare 3 individuals. And there is a bit of a fire burning, although it is quite small, and it's still quite chilly inside. There is a tavern keeper that is behind a bar, and there are 2 young individuals. They look to be maybe teenage lovers or ex-lovers, as indicated by the harsh but muddled tones that they are using with each other and the attitude on their faces. What would you all like to do?
So 2 mothers and the third person, that was it could possibly be the tavern keeper. So I would probably approach the tavern keeper, and find or see if he's knows what's going on.
Yeah, I'll head and
We don't
definitely.
get strangers much here. What do you guys want? Coming in? He's got big smiles on his face. We've got fresh stew, nice and warm. Are you traders?
No, we're
more of the adventuring type.
Adventurers!
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
You know, we need adventurers.
Oh, convenient that we're here, hey.
I don't know if you noticed, but it's cold outside.
Oh yeah, frightfully so. You
Quite
you wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Any information on it at all?
No, but I know that the mayor had sent off a letter a while ago, and we had a fellow come in to take a look at it, but it seems that nothing's come about of it. Are you here to perhaps fix it? Huh? You can see in his eyes he's got an almost desperate look.
Yeah, we're the
He's leaning
ones.
forward a little bit.
Yeah, we're the ones, that's us. Hoping to have this fixed as soon as possible if we can. Or at least some more information on it, so.
What do you need to know? I'll help as much as I can.
Where the mirrors would be good. Because I presume he'd know quite a lot about us.
Mayor, yep, I'll get Perry. Hang on. Wait here. Just don't go anywhere.
No,
He says as
no,
he
I don't.
kind of navigates around you all. And says, just stay. There's warm water over the fire. He points to a pot that's swung partially over the fire on the hearth. And he says, I'll be right back. And he grabs a big cloak and throws it around himself, and opens the door. And he just rushes out. You can see through the windows this dark shape runs through the afternoon gloom, running down the street as quickly as he can. There's a splish splash of mud from the snow, which the earth wants to be warm. Everything wants to be warm. It seems to be fighting between a thaw and a freeze, making a very disgusting, terrible town center. But he has rushed off.
I was not expecting him to rush off and go find the mirror, so I was expecting him to point us in the right direction.
Yeah.
But alright.
I'm just thinking at least we don't have to go find the guy.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I'm gonna go and sit next to the fire, maybe try and warm up a bit.
Yeah, so
Wait for it.
Okay.
Go near the fire. Things have been out in the wagon all day.
Maybe I would maybe kind of approach the two supposed lovers and find out what they're quarreling about.
All right.
I mean,
you can overhear it pretty quickly. They seem to be talking a bit. Basically, you get the impression that the boy's family is going to be leaving, and the girl's family is not. And she's saying that he should stay, and he's saying that she should go. But she doesn't want to go.
Coin flip, coin flip, coin flip.
Yeah, well,
I'm not.
I'm staying out of that one. That's none of my business. So.
Yeah, I'm over by the fire at the moment.
Well, maybe
So,
find out a bit of story behind the family. I mean, if their family is that dedicated to stay in this frozen, mysterious place, then they must have been here for a long time. Maybe they
Would you
might
like
know.
to talk to them and ask?
Yes, I would like to talk to them. Get out the prisoner.
She looks at you as you interrupt, and she goes, "What?"
Oh, I heard you're squabbling over here, and I wanted to find out what's going on between you two, or why your family wants to stay.
And she kind of wipes off a tear a little bit, and she says, "Because we're minding our own business." And he goes, "Come on, Joe, just... We're farmers here. We're all farmers here, and we can't exactly grow crops in this, and if we can't grow crops, then we're not going to be able to feed ourselves, much less do anything else. So a lot of the families have been leaving, and if we all leave, the town dies. And she says, "Yeah, you're gonna kill the town."
Hmm. Well,
My
I'm sure-
family is thinking about leaving, and I think that it's just gonna be this way. I think we should just leave so that we can build our own future. As he's saying to her, and she's like, "I don't want to build a future there. This is where we're from. This is where we fell in love." They can't be more than like 16, just petulant children. But anyway, they go back and forth of this. You know, this sort of, there's a certain tone and pace that teenagers having an argument can reach that just goes over the voices of most. But they just kind of have this back and forth. You can interrupt again if you like, but no progress is being made on either side. She's continuing to say that this is where her family is from, this is her family lands. She doesn't want to go anywhere. She wants to help the town. She wants to just wait it out. And he is saying that if we stay, we're all gonna die because you can't live forever in winter. Which is a fair argument.
I mean, you can if you decide to take up something other than
you
farm.
can. Yeah, you can. But they are not prepared for that. You know, you can tell from the fireplace. I'll add that this is not properly seasoned wood that's burning. They probably didn't have firewood to continue. They certainly don't have enough for the next year. They don't have crops. They don't have a way of surviving from the situation that they are in. That's sort of what he is saying. Is like, we gotta go. We can come back if it gets fixed, but if we don't go now, it's gonna get really, really, really bad. And most people have already left, and that's sort of the argument he's making. They're going back and forth.
All right. Well,
Did you just interrupt real quick? Did you mention there was someone else in the tavern as well, or was that other person the tavern keeper?
Just the tavern keeper.
All right, gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
you've got Jed, who has basically gone over and has spooned over some of the hot, kind of warm-ish water into his water skin, and he is just, hot water bottle, just clinging it to himself and sitting and kind of rocking in front of the fire to get warm. You imagine it was a little bit chilly up there, but it is just you all and these teenagers arguing for just the moment. If you want to just wait quietly for presumably the keeper to come back, you can.
I'll come over to here in a couple. Having probably overheard most of all this going on. I'm presuming they're not being quiet about this, really.
The teenagers?
Yeah.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
yeah, being
They are. The volume is escalating.
Yeah, I'll come over and try and.
He's trying to keep a lid on it, and she is blowing it off.
Fair enough. I'll come over. Try and be somewhat persuasive and be like, we were called here, to try and fix this problem or figure out what's going on, stuff like that. And honestly, from what I've heard, I bullshit a little bit because I've not really heard much about this town. I'll be like, from what I've heard, this town is an amazing community here. So I offer this instead. Sort of benefits both sides, I guess, if you will.
See, at least he's trying to help. Come on, Joe.
Wow. So I'll offer this. You guys stick around in town for a little while longer, a week or two. Nothing too drastic is hopefully going to happen by that point. And if there is clearly no end in sight at any point by that point, after we've tried to fix some stuff around here, then maybe you consider moving for, a short amount of time until it's all fixed. And if by some chance this does get fixed, then don't have to go anywhere. Win-win.
She just shakes her head. You men are all the same, just abandoning everything. God,
I'm saying
you, Joe. And they just continue to argue. You see a streak of blue outside of the window, and you hear thump, 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 as boots rush up the steps, and the doors smash open as a relatively smaller, portly fellow rushes in and says, "Adventurers!" And he looks around and he sees you all. Yes! And he slams the door. You think that any harder it would have broken the panes of the window that the door is set into. And he comes over. You can see that he has got a blue, it's sort of an overshirt. The buttons are off a little bit, like they're not in the right order. As he buttoned them, he apparently missed one. And he's wearing a mayor sash. It says mayor on it, and it's easy to read, although it would be much easier if it was the correct way. So it's actually upside down. It says mayor across his chest.
I like this guy.
He has a comb over that apparently, perhaps from the gusts of his speedy entrance, has blown up, and it was perhaps a bit moist. And in the wind and cold, it is actually frozen straight up and a little bit to the right. As he bursts in, and he is breathing heavy. "Adventurers, you've come."
Yeah, that is us.
Oh, it's so good. And you'll be able to help? The druid called you for assistance?
Well, actually, we're here about the druid. We have not heard anything from him.
It looks like the watering in his eyes immediately comes forward. The rest of his body language and face doesn't change, but you can just see that he's holding back tears. I see.
Do you have any news on this druid? I presume they came here to try and fix this issue. We haven't heard from them in over a week.
Well, we haven't either. He was here, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. It's tough to tell. They all sort of blend together. He was here, and we discussed what's been going on. It's very cold out, you see. Winter didn't end this year. It was quite a harsh winter, and then it became even a harsher spring, and we dare not find what type of harshness the winter will bring this summer. But he went up onto the mountain, and he points, behind the inn. But he did not come back.
Oh, up the mountain. What would the druid plan to find up there?
Could be the reason of all of it up there. Would probably be one of the first areas I'd check. Do you know what the druid was like looking for, if anything at all?
No. He asked some of our rituals how our festival went, and it was a terrible festival. We were surprised that it was a druid, but he didn't really seem to take much concern of it. He asked about how long it's been here. It's been here for several months. It's gotten worse. The winter was normal for some time, but then a good portion through it, it just became much worse, and we haven't seen the sun in a very long time. The clouds, they started spiraling out and got bigger and bigger, and then the fog started to form on the mountain, then descending from the mountain. It just got a lot worse.
It originated from the mountain.
Perhaps. I still blame the Targon boys, but perhaps.
No, hold on. The Targon boys? Now, who are these?
Oh, those damn Targon boys! And he spits on the wooden floors. Sorry, Yort. He looks around and you don't know who he's talking to. But he says, Reese and Amin, the Targon boys, they got into the canned corn, and they got all wild and rambunctious. They burned down a good portion of the ritual and the fair, the harvest festival was ruined. It was rather heartbreaking.
Is this ritual meant to keep like evil spirits or things away?
Oh yes.
Like
It's
provide a
very
bountiful
important.
harvest each year and stuff like that.
Of course. We've done it for the time immemorial, longer than I've ever lived. Longer than anyone can remember. We've been doing it since the beginning of the world, as far as I'm concerned. And every year it has ensured a good harvest. And this year, it didn't happen under my reign. Oh, and now the town is in ruins. He bites his hand. But I blame them.
Can I ask him
Perhaps
for the
We
specifics?
burn them in sacrifice, perhaps?
No.
What would you like to ask them?
I'd like to ask him for the specifics of this festival ritual thing. Like, can he be more detailed in what it's about, why they do it?
Well, we do it to appease nature, appease the various gods, of course. To make them happy, to make sure that the fields are happy. We offer up parts of our harvest to the animals to make sure that we have milk and eggs and meat, of course.
When you say you offer up parts of your harvest, you mean you slaughter animals?
Oh, no. I mean, we do, but no. We generally feed them. We feed them the best of the harvest, and we make effigies, and we celebrate those effigies, and we, well, sometimes eat those effigies, but it depends on how the harvest has been. But no. We don't slaughter animals as any sort of a sacrifice. No, we want the animals to work with us. That doesn't help. No, we slaughter the animals at our weddings, not at our rituals. Not like that. That would be ridiculous.
Just trying to make sure they're not like saying some devil shit or something.
Yeah, some cult or something. Can I make a religion check on, so like if I know anything about like any deities or spirits or anything that like could be in other places around the world that would do the same sort of thing?
Yeah, sure.
Religion.
And
That's
Piero,
not
of
good.
course, you know that this, to your knowledge, that none of this, making a town become winter, like none of this tracks of any god you've ever heard of. You don't think that even if they completely mess up the ritual, even if the ritual does anything,
No, there would be
it
no.
wouldn't do
no
this.
deity.
But
That would be.
Fenny, if you would roll, please.
That's an 8 on religion.
Okay. You know that there are gods. And surely the rituals, I mean, clerics do them all the time, and paladins do them, and a whole bunch of other people do them. They gotta be doing them for a reason, right? I mean, maybe, or maybe not. You know, you don't really know.
What happened?
I'm gonna ask them there. Is there any specific like deity, god, goddess, spirit of the
Oh, no,
forest
no,
or
no, no,
anything
we're-
you do this to?
No. We're multi-dimensional. We are denominational. Multi-denominational. Sorry, my tongue. We're multi-denominational. We don't want to be picking sides, per se.
That's
don't
fair
make
enough.
enemies on the deathbed, so to speak.
That's fair enough. Do you know of any like, forest spirits or anything that might live in the area? Could be, or even something in the
no.
mountains.
No, I'm not
Okay.
aware of any. There sometimes is people go missing on the mountain, but you
And
know,
much harsher climates up there, I'm presuming. So
not usually. No.
No?
This time of year, it's frequently the teenagers would go up there to do what teenagers do, but
Oh.
sometimes they wouldn't come back. But animals maybe, or we don't really know. But I don't think it's spirits. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, personally, I reckon a lot's pointing towards the mountain. So
I was gonna say, like, we haven't really learned anything from this other than the mountain is kind of strange, and that's
Mountain
the last place
bad.
the druid was seen headed. So, I guess the only thing to do, really, unless you guys have any other ideas, is to prepare and maybe head towards that mountain.
Well, before heading up to the mountain, I would probably send out Carter. I would send the caravan back to the guild in regards to what our suspicions are, and
Would there be any point? Because at the moment we don't have any real evidence. We don't have anything confirmed at all. We'd be sending him back with nothing except for we got here, we found out that the druid went to a mountain. That's
We
it.
got here, mountain bad.
or
I see where you're going with it. I just don't see it. I don't see it being worth doing yet.
We need more information first.
that is
Turning back to the mayor, we'll ask him, like, is there any priests or clerics or anything in the town that might have any insight to this at all?
And he says, well, not really. We have a couple of people that sort of help out with a lot of the rituals, but we're not...
Is there anyone in
We're-
particular that sort of runs it? Or is it
wait,
everyone
what about-
helps, sort of?
what about
he-
other parts?
He shakes his head and he says, it's really a group effort. We have a lot of personal faith,
Understood.
not so much the organized faith.
Well, are there maybe any other local druids? Possibly. I mean, there would be probably a few.
He shakes his head.
Don't,
No, I'm not aware of any other druids.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be calling for a druid in the main city if there was one nearby.
But they didn't really call for a druid, did they? They called for an adventurer and was sent the druid.
I suppose.
Yeah, there was a chance.
And lastly, actually, these, what was it, Targan boys said? I think the name was?
Yep,
Yeah.
the Targrim boys.
Targrim, gotcha. Whereabouts are they located? Whereabouts could we like have a word with them at all? Or?
Yeah. Their family's still in town, I think. And he says, just go down the main road. About 18 houses.
Mm-hmm.
Around this time, the innkeeper comes in, and he's got a fresh bundle of wet, small chunks of wood that he puts beside the fire that, can start to dry out. I'll add, too, and you can remember this as he takes off the large cloak of furs and hangs them up. None of you are really dressed for a winter adventure.
Mm.
Yeah, I did think about
You're
that.
not ready
Yeah,
for
I was thinking about that.
spelunking in an ice storm,
Mm.
That was like a thought of mine. And can we inquire from the mayor if there's any stores, shops, anywhere to purchase supplies around here, other than the inn?
He shakes his head, but he says if there's anything you need, the townsfolk, we can try to accommodate, but no, we don't really have much of a store here.
Well, I mean, there must be maybe a local tailor, somebody to make up some woolly, some cold gear.
We're mostly farmers here. We get a lot delivered, and we ship out what we can, or we'll go to other larger towns to shop, but we don't really have enough business to support a tailor here. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty far off the beaten path.
Yeah,
This is
we're
a
definitely gonna need some
fairly
warm
small-
cloaks and stuff traveling. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Just get
I
a
mean,
woolly coat,
we
nothing.
have one option, but it's time and money, which is to send the good old cart guy to another town to pick up some shit for us, or for us to travel to another town and pick up some shit.
Oh, there was mention of other townsfolk could potentially help. I mean, if people are gonna be staying indoors, huddled up next to fires and everything, they could spare a cloak or two, surely.
If they have
Yeah.
any. I mean, we can ask around, obviously.
We
I'm
can
just
ask around,
putting
yeah.
ideas out
Well, they live here. They almost certainly have winter clothing in their home.
or would they give it up when they went afterwards?
I mean, I presume they'd have multiple sets of winter clothes.
And
Well,
they
you-
can certainly
prior
spare
to this-
some.
Prior to this storm, it's been normal winters, so
Mm.
are they
Well,
any more
this
prepared
is-
than we are?
Yeah,
What
sure.
you're experiencing now, it's not like it's a really harsh winter. This is, it's like winter, but it's not supposed to be winter.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it's a really harsh winter right now, it's that it's not supposed to be winter at all.
Right,
I mean, it's
okay.
not great. There's, still snow and various blowings and things, but this is not blizzard conditions.
Mm.
It's winter when it's not supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
So what do you guys want
But
to
it
do
is
next?
freezing. There is snow. It's not pleasant, and you suspect that as you get closer to the mountain, just as it's gotten worse as you gotten closer to town, that it'll also continue to get worse. But from where you are right now, it's like this is a mild winter storm, or the after effect of a mild winter storm. It's perhaps that every day or two there's snow, but it's mostly because it's not supposed to be any snow at all that's really the problem.
Okay, I have a
ooh.
plan. Can I ask the mayor if he could try and source us out some winter
Nice.
protective clothing whilst we go and have a word with the Targaryen
I
boys?
was literally about to suggest that, yeah.
He nods and he says, "Yeah, that could be arranged. That could be arranged, I guess, if you didn't come prepared with winter clothing."
Yeah, we probably should have done that from the note, huh?
Well, we weren't really sure what to expect from the note. We just knew it was winter. We didn't know that this town was going to be dead and no stores and no nothing. So
Fair point.
Well, that's one way to look at it, I guess. And to be fair, Neverwinter probably doesn't have a lot of winter clothing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the name implies that we shouldn't need any winter clothing.
One would think. But here you are, and you want to head off to go speak to the Targaryen boys.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
go have
yeah,
word with them
everyone
and see
happy
what's
with that?
going up.
Yeah.
Because that's
Okay.
definitely one of our potential leads for now.